What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 11 IW Chapter 161 2 Conquerors Collisions Greater Than. In the Conquerors Haki competition, Katakuri knew that there was still a big gap between himself and 4 Emperors red-haired Shanks. Yan and Katakuri looked at each other, knowing that no matter which one of them, is not the opponent of 4 Emperors red-haired Shanks at all. The only way is for the two of them to get up and fight against the red-haired Shanks together. This is also considered to be able to contend. Katakuri, Cracker, Wait You and Jack the Drow of Beasts Pirates against Red Hair Pirates Deputy Captain Beckman. On the other side, Jin's idea is basically the same as Katakuri. Also know that Red Hair Pirates is very difficult to deal with. Without uniting and fighting together, there is no chance of winning at all. Not only that, including their unity, it is probably very mysterious. Suddenly at the same time, Red Hair Pirates, Beasts Pirates, and Big Mom Pirates drew their weapons at the same time and rushed towards each other. Start a duel at sea. Pirates have become accustomed to sea warfare. The redhead Shanks had gone to the battlefield, but now he has been dragged. If you don't get rid of quickly, Beasts Pirates and Big Mom Pirates, then the battlefield over there. Basically, I missed it. At the same time, redhead Shanks is also worried about one thing. Those are Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, neither of them are there. It must be something secret, I just don't know what exactly the two of them will do. Thinking too much now is useless. Get rid of the enemy as soon as possible. But even now the Beasts Pirates and the Big Mom Pirates group are crowded together. But Shanks, the redhead, didn't worry at all, because they're the iron-armed pirates. Public Execution Celestial Dragons Battlefield. Kizaru and Zephyr had just finished a fight, even if they called to return to naval headquarters. Because Kaido and Charlotte Linlin both invaded naval headquarters. At present, Mr. Sengoku is at stake. Zephyr, who was fighting Kizaru next to him, heard that Sengoku was in a dangerous territory. Zephyr also sighed. Sengoku will encounter this catastrophe, it can be regarded as good luck. If Kizaru intends that Ishin just wants to fly away. Zephyr knew he couldn't stop Kizaru either. Simply stop the attack. The entire battlefield was due to Kizaru's departure. With Garp's departure, he suddenly fell into a passive situation even more. Although Garp didn't participate in the war just now. However, the departure of such a powerful combat force would still bring pressure to Marine to some extent. 8 men in white masks from the world government also stood up and prepared to fight. Ha people stood in rows. We are also going to attack. It seems that waiting to continue is not a solution. I thought, as a result, I was caught off guard by Kaido and Charlotte Linlin this time. It is indeed, so we can't wait anymore, it's getting closer and closer to the execution time of Lord Celestial Dragons. He talked briefly with each other and rushed out together after speaking. At this time, not only 8 people started to act, but Aokiji also attacked. Luo Tian stood at the highest point, watching the audience the whole time. A pirate ship approached the pier on Kurt Island and stopped. Doflamingo, wearing a flamingo coat in midair, slowly flew from it. It's 7 warlords of the sea Doflamingo. Kira saw it. Said, I don't know if Kid will be Doflamingo's opponent now? This is a good opponent. It is estimated that he is going to the battlefield now. The conversation between Kid and Kira could be heard by other pirates in the distance. He didn't take the wrong medicine, right? Supernova Kid is good at strength. But that is Doflamingo, 7 warlords of the sea. There are only a handful of people in New World who can be better than him, although Kid is good. But after all, it's just a rookie, how do you compare with Doflamingo? The experience is so different. Doflamingo really killed him from stepping on the corpses of countless people. The method of killing is not comparable to Kid. That's right, I also think Doflamingo is even better. Almost everyone believed that if the two played against each other, Kid would definitely lose. The combat power of the two seemed to be incomparable at all. Although both are powerful people, they have too much experience. Heavenly Yaksha Doflamingo, his prestige was killed, stepping on the corpses of not knowing how many people came to this position. As for Kid, it hasn't been long since he went to sea. Although the strength is very strong, it may not be Doflamingo's opponent. A voice came out, Doflamingo, come down and make 2 moves with Lousy. Everyone's faces are chilling, is this kid really provocative? He, it turns out to be this supernova. Doflamingo carried a weird laugh, like a night owl, spreading across the island from top to bottom. Kid's life is dead. Killing a rookie Kid doesn't take much time for Doflamingo. In the previous provocation, Kid was destined to be killed. As Shichibukai's Doflamingo also knows, the battlefield over there is not so fast to end. In this regard, he took the life of this supernova imp, and it was not much time wasted. The other side. Kid stopped, a curve appeared at the corner of his mouth, and turned to look at Kira behind him. Faintly said, it looks like a big fish is here. The voice fell off. Doflamingo's figure slowly walked out of the air. He, a unique laughter sounded, and a figure slowly walked over from the air. It's like a flat ground, walking step by step in the air. Doflamingo, Kira's face changed, and she whispered. Don Quixote Doflamingo, he has short blonde hair and weird golden glasses. Wearing a pink feather coat and fancy dress, he looks like a clown and makes people laugh. Between the steps, Doflamingo is also extremely powerful, stepping on the 8-character step. Put your hands in Kabuto, condescendingly watch Kid and others. Hee, with a low smile, Doflamingo walked down from the air. Said to Kid. Meeting for the first time, newcomer. I am Doflamingo. Hearing this, Kid smiled lightly, his face calm, and said. I've heard the name for a long time, but the famous TNE doesn't know how strong you are. This newcomer has a good devil fruit. Doflamingo is a little bit lamented. Doflamingo's string fruit is not too strong. It is not the best among Paramecia. However, under the development of Doflamingo, string fruit has exploded with extremely terrifying power. But no matter how strong it is still not as good as some Logia, such as Admiral's Logia. You retreat one after another. Kira, let me meet him alone for a while. Kid looked at Doflamingo who was about to come, and a smile curled up at the corner of his mouth. Doflamingo is considered the strongest person he has encountered in the fight so far. Kira nodded and quickly backed away. Seeing this scene, Doflamingo's eyes flickered. Hee. Doflamingo let out a mean laugh, and said, this is going to challenge me, I am deeply impressed. In words, Doflamingo kicked it with one foot. You flatter me. Kid's face was calm, and one foot directly stopped Doflamingo. The conqueror's Haki of the two collided and crashed together. Like a compressed air explosion, the collision of two terrifying forces suddenly produced amazing black lightning that filled the surrounding area. A terrifying air burst out from it and swept all around. The invisible air wave rushed wildly, and the ground under the feet of the two collapsed and broke, and smoke billowed. What a terrible power. We can't resist it at the periphery. If we are at the center, wouldn't it be torn apart by this force? Conqueror's Haki collided. Both of them are people with king aptitude. This kind of matchup has not been seen for many years, and it is still Conqueror's collision. Who knows this? The people who had just rushed over from the surrounding areas had not had time to find a place, and they were already surprised by the two Conqueror's Haki. They are also good players in New World, but they dare not walk over. Because instinct tells them that if they walk past it rashly, they will inevitably be torn apart by their Conqueror's Haki. The realm of the overlord, this is no longer a realm we can enter. This is the king's battlefield. Two kings must be hurt. Who will win? Everyone stared at the two people in front of them. The War of Kings, this is a battle the New World hasn't seen for a long time. Conqueror's Haki. Haki where millions of talents will appear. This kind of Haki is very rare, even in New World. And because there are not many people in Conqueror's Haki, there are fewer people who can cultivate to home in Conqueror's Haki. The Kid and Doflamingo in front of them are both Conqueror's Haki, and their Conqueror's Haki are extremely skilled. Because of this, everyone will look forward to it. The real battle between the two kings has not happened for a long time after the 4 emperors. Kira on the side looked at Kid and Doflamingo in front of him. My heart is extremely nervous. Kid, come on, let Doflamingo, this guy must lose. Although I really wanted to, Doflamingo failed. But Kira also knows that this kind of difficulty is quite huge. Unexpectedly, you newcomer still has Conqueror's Haki. Hee. Feeling Conqueror's collision, Doflamingo's face is pale. Smiled and said, it's just that, you are not my opponent. Super whip line. The voice just fell. Doflamingo pulled his right hand, and the transparent and tough lines turned into a whip. Cut through the air, with a piercing sound, hit Kid fiercely. ZZ. At this moment, Kid's body flashed with electric lights, and the arc made piercing screams. The dazzling thunder shot in and out, and the steel weapons on the entire island were all attracted. After the two sides collided with each other, you only have this strength? This is your confidence, to be honest, you let me down a little bit, rookie Kid. With words, Doflamingo pressed Kid and kicked Kid's chest with one foot. Woolen cloth. The force of horror swept over, Kid flew out 10 meters upside down and hit the wall hard. He smashed out the human-shaped potholes in the houses next to him before stopping. What? Sudden changes made everyone unexpected. Just now, the two talented people were 50-50, but in a blink of an eye they were kicked out by Doflamingo. In the smoke, Kid walked out, frowning, and struggling with Doflamingo. Shen Sheng said, isn't your devil fruit from Paramecia? Why is Gango like Logia in an instant? Guess? Kid? Doflamingo smiled lightly and looked at Kid playfully. But Doflamingo went on to explain and said, I'll listen to me, Kid. This is the highest state of Devil Fruit's ability. Devil Fruit's ability is awakened. It will change the surrounding environment like Logia. Understood. You Kid who has never seen the world before. Everyone's eyes widened, and their faces were full of horror. They never thought that Doflamingo was talking about Devil Fruit's ability awakening. Logia's Devil Fruit is the rarest among all Devil Fruits, and the price is also the most expensive. Especially among the 3 types of Devil Fruit, Logia Devil Fruit has the most powerful average ability. Except for some useless Logia fruit abilities, 0, for flowers. The others are basically extremely powerful abilities. Not to mention the original 3 Admiral, Luo Tian's Thunder Fruit is also one of them. Now I heard Doflamingo say that his Devil Fruit ability can be the same as Logia. Think about what a terrible thing this is. Now that you know, then kneel and surrender. Doflamingo stood calmly. He smiled at Kid with a friendly smile and said faintly, kneel and admit defeat. Hearing what Doflamingo said, Kid was stunned. Then he smiled very angry. Fear 4, I admit that your strength is good, but if I want to give up, would it be too arrogant? Doflamingo joked and smiled. If you don't want to die, kneel down and beg for mercy to do something for me. I might consider letting you go. Court death. Kid's face sank, his feet stomped on the floor, and the magnet in his hand rushed towards Doflamingo. 5 color strings. Doflamingo's lines are sharp and hard at the same time, especially after the fusion of armed colors. The power is not much worse than some powerful knives. The two experienced a quick battle again. Kid just bite the bullet and constantly attacked. The next moment, Doflamingo appeared on Kid's side and threw a punch at Kid's ribs. The pitch-black fist blasted out, shooting in and out like a cannonball. Doflamingo, which bursts out with all its strength, is not something ordinary people can respond to. Even if Kid learns observation Haki and practices well, it is basically impossible to avoid it. Boom. Without any hindrance, Doflamingo was knocked out instantly. Then, Doflamingo followed closely. Kid hadn't gone up yet, and hit him in the face again. Damn it. You be *******D. Kid's heart was extremely aggrieved, and he naturally felt that the two were about the same strength. But Doflamingo's speed is too fast, even if he can sense it. But his body could not react. In this regard, he could only be madly beaten by Doflamingo, but he could not resist. This one comes from Doflamingo faster than Kid. But the speed should not be much different, there won't be too much difference. Mainly the gap on Haki. A-hole. Kid wanted to say something, but before he could finish it, Doflamingo hit the face again. Boom. Suddenly, the entire bridge of the nose collapsed and the blood flow continued. Satisfied little devil? Doflamingo's face was frosty, hitting Kid's face with kick after kick. A-hole. Kid yelled loudly and was depressed. He felt that he shouldn't provoke Doflamingo today. Obviously the other party is just a 7 warlords of the sea. Not yet the 4 emperors deity. Today, he is so strenuous to challenge a 7 warlords of the sea. Let alone challenge the 4 emperors deity, but he would not admit defeat like this. His eyes were fixed on Doflamingo, and he sneered. Doflamingo frowned. At this time, I still have to smile. You deserve to be a supernova, you are really tough. After that, he punched Kid in the face again, isn't it? I will fight until you are soft. Hearing these words, Kid was stunned, even before he had time to react. When he reacted, Doflamingo's fist had already fallen. In the end, Kid was knocked out by Doflamingo. Kira next to him rushed up instantly, madly targeting Doflamingo to attack. Pity. The gap in strength cannot be made up with desperation. Doflamingo mocked. The kid who fainted, kill him later. But I will kill you first. With no less than a few tricks, Kira's injury became more and more serious. Ahem. Kira coughed a few times and spit out a few bloodline directly, then he lay on the ground and began to rest. He didn't fight fiercely this time, but he was picked up a bit miserably. From the beginning to the end, Doflamingo has been beating him, and there is no time to rest at all. People who watched from a distance because of the battle between the two have been watching. Doflamingo walks towards Kid and Kira step by step, preparing to kill the two people. At this time the phone worm rang. Doflamingo's expression on the phone is getting more and more wrong. Hang up after a minute, he sneered and said, hey. It's so interesting. Beast Kaido and Charlotte Linlin invaded naval headquarters. Sengoku, the Buddha, is at stake. On the battlefield over there, Kizaru and Garp desperately rushed back. We haven't arrived at 7 warlords of the sea yet, it seems that the world government is really anxious. Let the war come more fierce. Doflamingo opened his hands and laughed constantly. Then she looked at the 2 little ghosts who had provoked him just now. Said generously, I will let you go this time, next time, it won't be so lucky. After speaking, Doflamingo turned and used the string fruit ability to start flying away from the island. As for not killing Kid and Kira, it's totally happy. Kira felt the injured place and breathed a sigh of relief. The other party really left. I almost thought I was going to die just now. It seems that 1 year of cultivation is still not enough. Kid has awakened Conqueror's Haki. Even 7 warlords of the sea can't beat it, let alone challenge the 4 emperors. You have to take Kid out of here first. Kid won't wake up for a while. Keep staying here, there will be danger. The little brothers of the Kid pirates rushed to help their boss Kid. Kira led the people away quickly. Chapter 162 Combo Skills to kill Sengoku. Sengoku battles Kaido and Charlotte Linlin of the Beasts and has already entered a fever. Sengoku is in a desperate state. Normally, as far as Sengoku is concerned, even one person can deal with the Beasts Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. It will not fall into passiveness instantly, he has been seriously injured now. The previous combination of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. The power is too terrifying, it directly exceeds the endurance limit of Sengoku. If it weren't for the big Buddha form and supporting it, maybe Sengoku wouldn't just be seriously injured now. It may be that there is no way to act. The ant grabbed Zeus from the thunderstorm, aimed the thunder at Sengoku and fell down. Booming thunder, boom. Sengoku is protecting the mace against the beast Kaido with both hands. The attack on Charlotte Linlin can no longer be avoided. Can only resist Charlotte Linlin's thunder attack. Sengoku, who was already badly injured, could barely resist Kaido's attack. This attack can be avoided was hit in an instant. After the hit, Sengoku's whole body appeared briefly blurred. 100 Beasts. Kaido's human and beast form is full of explosive power. Seeing that Sengoku is flawed again, immediately hold the mace with both hands. Thunder 8 trigrams. The violent force hit Sengoku's stomach. The belly of King Kong in the form of the Big Buddha was deformed by Kaido's thunderous 8 trigrams. Sengoku's entire face appeared distorted. Obviously this is a particularly painful expression. Beast Kaido and Shaw, 353, Lot Linlin, you two bastards. Sengoku looked at the two people in front of him with red eyes. They were too shameless. Most of the battles are all about sneak attacks. Either the Beast Kaido sneak attack or Charlotte Linlin's sneak attack. At the same time, Sengoku also clearly felt that his combat effectiveness had begun to decline. Sengoku knelt on the ground on one knee, supporting the ground with one hand. The head is booming, but things won't let Sengoku just relax like this. The ant jumped up. Whitebeard clenched Napoleon with both hands and slashed with a flying whirlwind. The horrifying experience was blowing in the wind. Even if Sengoku was in pain, he had to defend himself as soon as possible. Now it must be held back, no matter what. Have to stand up all the way. The support of the world government is also from Aokiji's side, at least until one of them resists. Now Sengoku plans to change more to defense. Offense is supplemented. There is no room left to attack, protecting the body with both hands again. Boom. This time, Sengoku was knocked out in an instant, and the huge body of the Big Buddha rolled on the ground several times in a row. The form of the Great Buddha could no longer be maintained. Exiting the form of the Big Buddha, Sengoku has white hair and broken glasses. Sengoku spat out several mouthfuls of blood. The Holy Land Marijoy rushes to naval headquarters on the way. The 2-5 elders did not stop during the whole process, and Kong on the other side drove with all their strength. Kizaru Sparkling Fruit has the ability to fly amazingly fast. Already approaching naval headquarters. Probably there will be less than 2 minutes left to arrive at naval headquarters. And the other direction. Garp has disregarded physical exertion. Regardless of the distance, Moonwalk rushed back. I'm afraid it's a step too late when Sengoku really has an accident. Kill Luo Tian and Sengoku to compare, let Garp choose. Garp is definitely choosing Sengoku, because once Sengoku died, it really disappeared in the world. This kind of thing is absolutely forbidden by Garp. I kept muttering, Sengoku, you fellow, you must be able to hold it on for me. If something happens to you, you will be in hell. I won't let you go. At this moment Garp was too scared. As at the top of the war, Ace lost his life. If there was no Sengoku stopping him, Garp would really kill Sakazuki directly. It's just the same today. If Sengoku is finally killed by Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, then Garp will not care about Beast's pirates and the Big Mom pirates. They will also directly kill their base camp and avenge Sengoku. Sengoku I was hit by Kaido and Charlotte Linlin twice in a row. In these 2 times, Sengoku did not belong to the form of the Great Buddha. So the defensive power also plummeted. Now the whole body bones are broken several times. Sengoku has forgotten how he has not been hurt like this. Probably none of them has been hurt so much. This time it might really go down. Sengoku somehow suddenly thought of Whitebeard. Also died in naval headquarters. Although they are not the same naval headquarters, they also mean the same thing. It might really be what Whitebeard said. A few of them are the remnants of the old age. The new age can carry their ships. His Sengoku is now coming to an end. The new era of Marine belongs to Aokiji, but fortunately, the position of Marshal Naval Headquarters was handed over. Otherwise, if you are still sitting in the Marshal's position. So after facing this situation, there will definitely be a lot of mess left. Beast Kaido shouted, Linlin is preparing for that attack. Send Buddha's Sengoku to hell. Well, this is preparing for the final blow to send Sengoku directly to hell. But it's just what the old mother wants. The ant responded with a smile. Beast Kaido intends to kill Sengoku with the final blow. The ant's meaning is basically the same as Kaido. Also save trouble. Otherwise, wait for other people from the world government or marine to come and disturb them. If you want to kill Sengoku quickly, it becomes even more troublesome. Sengoku, the Buddha, must be killed before that, then even if the world government and marine personnel arrive. Beast Kaido and Charlotte Linlin are worthy of them. It is up to them to decide whether to continue to be tough or to leave. The two of them once again put on a combo pose. The momentum continues to rise rapidly. The Beast Kaido wields a mace, and Charlotte Linlin wields Napoleon's bold sword. Sengoku see here. The entire pupil was instantly weakened. The whole nerve is tight in an instant, appeared again. This is the combo skill that hurt him just now? Here again. This time Sengoku didn't have any confidence at all and was able to resist it. Because this time, he will definitely kill him. There is no hope of surviving. At this moment, a golden light crossed the horizon. Kizaru flew at high speed throughout the journey. 2 seconds ago, Kizaru was able to see the shadow of the naval headquarters island. But it's just 2 seconds, any accident may happen. Because of the combination of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, the beasts have already played out. The violent cyclone tornado has completely covered Sengoku. Even Kizaru, who has always been an old fritters. They were all horrified and said, don't be kidding me. Mr. Sengoku. Kizaru completely ignores the limits of Devil Fruit's ability. Regardless of the nerve reflex limit, can it withstand the speed of such an explosion? An 8-foot mirror flashes quickly, when it is only 10 meters away from the cyclone tornado. It's still a little bit slower, the sound of breaking wind, bombing. Sengoku was hit by this thunderous cyclone tornado combo. The attack went straight and straight. The magnificent building of naval headquarters was destroyed in an instant. The attack still did not stop. The attack continued to rush towards the sea. On the sea, sweeping and pulling, hundreds of meters of huge waves went to both sides. Kizaru was completely dumbfounded. It's just a little bit short of it. But that's a little bit, everything is too late. At the same time, the attack just now made Kizaru's whole heart frightened. That power is terrifying. What kind of ordinary attack is there? Instead, he came to take this attack. Zero will also die, okay? Even if he didn't die, he still had to be seriously injured directly. Two monsters can combine skills? Is that human being? It's exactly the same as Sengoku's reaction before. Full of incredible. Even his Kizaru feels this way. Not to mention, Sengoku looked like just now. Kizaru's eyesight still has no problem. Sengoku was seriously injured just now, in that state, directly accepting that kind of attack? You don't need to think about it to know that the big thing is bad. It's the kind of big incident. The ant put away the combo posture, mocking. Well. It turned out to be Paluzolino. Why? Are you not fighting Luo Tian's Whitebeard pirate group? I still have the heart to come and support. It seems that Sengoku's life is more important than that of Luo Tian and Celestial Dragons. Kizaru's face was blue, white and red. Obviously, I was irritated by the words of my aunt. If it is usual Kizaru, it's all idiots and has a wretched face. I really don't care about the aunt's words, but now it's different. Because Sengoku was sacrificed before his eyes. But Kaido shook his neck and said, since there is another admiral. Then we will do it again, and we will fight for Kizaru as well. Beast Kaido has listed Kizaru as one of the must-kill spots. Well, Kaido, this is a good idea, I like it. Since one has already suffered a disaster, it is normal to continue to kill another one. Kaido said so. The ant also suddenly became interested. Although it wasn't to kill an admiral or marshal alone, it was combined with Kaido. But these are records, can instantly enhance their reputation to a great extent. Kizaru's mouth twitches straight. What did he hear just now? The two opposing people are planning to kill an admiral? What naval headquarters' highest combat power, admiral, has become like a cabbage? Kill if you want. Just now, Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, the beasts, are right, Mr. Sengoku. Mr. Sengoku belongs to the head marshal who has just been appointed. The highest leader of Marine. Before Luo Tian killed Akainu, now Kaido and Charlotte Linlin both killed Mr. Sengoku. When did this start? These four emperors on the sea have become so cruel. Kill admiral and the marshal at every turn. Kizaru all began to wonder where 2.2 is the problem. These four emperors on the sea are terrible. In the future, if Aokiji assigns him to fight against these four emperors, Kizaru really intends to do it a bit. It is too dangerous. I will lose my life anytime. You can't play against these two guys later, it must be delayed. After delaying to Garp, people from the world government came to support. He, Kizaru, is not going to be silly and go head to head with the four emperors. That is the most stupid behavior. No matter what you do, the most important thing is to save your life first. Anything else, wait until later. Sengoku was beaten out. Did not fall into the sea, it's on the coast of naval headquarters. At this time Sengoku has completely changed, even the will of life is threatened. The breath remained faintly fluctuating, but life is already on the verge of disappearing. Sengoku's death is also a matter of time, it is impossible to save it. Unless it is some of his special devil fruit abilities, there is still a little hope that Sengoku can be rescued. At this moment, there is no way for Marine to be able to give birth to this kind. The building collapsed. This new naval headquarters has also become tattered. One can imagine the destructive power of the four emperors. Chapter 163 Twin Kings vs. Five Elders. Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, the beasts, set their eyes on Kizaru again. Kizaru's eyelids throbbed, his heart frightened and started to complain. Even Sengoku had an accident, and now he has to face four emperors directly. World government support hasn't arrived yet. Although he has usually procrastinated, he hasn't overtime either. Why are people in the world government doing things so unreliable? Nothing more, maybe something will happen to him. And this collapsed naval headquarters. There is also Sengoku, who is about to lie on the ground. Kizaru thought that Akainu was also killed by Luo Tian, now it is Sengoku. Becoming admiral or marshal, naval headquarters' highest combat power is also very dangerous. Just when Kizaru was thinking about it, danger comes in an instant. Waiguo. The ant's attack came in an instant. It's terrible, Big Mom. Kizaru's facial expression was hideous. 8-foot mirror. Kizaru hurriedly used all his best to avoid the attack with the fastest speed. Kizaru was just about to breathe a sigh of relief. The alarm bell is ringing. Eye-catching beast Kaido is holding his mace and has already smashed it over. Thunder 8 trigrams. The beast Kaido swung his mace at Kizaru's head and smashed it with a unique trick. Just when Kizaru was about to use the Skycloud sword, an old man with a bald head and a demon sword appeared in front of Kizaru and attacked for Kizaru. Lithium. Kizaru's nerves suddenly relaxed after pulling out the Sky Cloud Sword. Master Five Elders said slowly. The two Four Emperors cooperated and continuously attacked just now, although it was able to withstand it. But there is definitely no way to resist at all. What really relieved Kizaru was that Five Elders came over. This way there is not so much pressure. Usually facing a Four Emperors alone, Kizaru doesn't want to. Not to mention facing two Four Emperors, it is called life-threatening. It is more comfortable to hide behind an output. Another tall Five Elders also arrived at naval headquarters. Kong arrived shortly thereafter. At this moment, the originally majestic naval headquarters is even dilapidated. But the people who stand are the top big men in the sea. The highest power of the world government Five Elders, the Army Commander Kong, Marine Admiral Kizaru. Two Four Emperors in New World, Kaido and Big Mom Charlotte Linlin. The bald Five Elders had sharp eyes and said, Kaido, Charlotte Linlin. You have committed a heinous crime, killing Sengoku, the former naval headquarters Marshal Buddha. Then you too, don't even think about leaving today. The face of the world government, you used it to cleanse today. Bald Five Elders holds the supreme sharp knife first generation in the other hand. Others also put on combat poses at the same time, even the yellow ape did not put his pants in his hands Kabuto. Well, it turned out to be you Five Elders old men. How? Dared to come out to the Holy Land Marijoy this time. My old lady thought that you guys are very afraid of death and dare not leave Marijoy. When the aunt met, she mocked Five Elders directly. Five Elders may be superior in the eyes of all parts of the world, but in her aunt's eyes, she was just an ordinary old man. Regardless of strength or status, the aunt didn't think it was worse than Five Elders. The other tall Five Elders narrowed his eyes and said angrily, what do you think you are Four Emperors on the sea? Can you compare to our Five Elders? Oh too? You think too much of yourself, Charlotte Linlin? We are world government Five Elders, you are not just one pirate. Find out your position in yourself for me. Usually the one who sees them is not respectful. Even if it is a big pirate, in front of their Five Elders, they have to take it in their arms. Well, a few old men who don't die are not as strong as my old mother, just shut up for my old mother. Aunt Big Mom, after roaring, the violent conquerors Haki rushed to the opposite side. Don't be too arrogant. Five Elders, the bald head, pulled out the first generation ghost and rushed up in an instant. The aunt also grabbed it with a big hand, and Napoleon held it in her hand. Clenching both hands is also a counterattack, slashing away. Bang! The two weapons collided instantly. The two quickly slashed and hit, neither of them backed down. Just when the ant and the bald Five Elders collided with each other in swordsmanship. The beast Kaido transforms into a cyan dragon hundreds of meters long. Linlin, get out of the way. Beast Kaido opened his big mouth, and the violent flame energy quickly converged. Although the ant was a little upset, Kaido interrupted her fight, but she still walked away. Jumped up and jumped onto Thundercloud Zeus, heat. The beast Kaido has a large mouth in the form of a dragon, and ejects a fierce flame heat bomb. What a brazen bee ********. The tall Five Elders saw the beast Kaido. Eyelids twitched. Kong and Kizaru knew everything instantly. The bald Five Elders and the tall Five Elders, as well as Kong and Kizaru. The four people lined up in a row and stretched out their hands at the same time. 8 palms are erected. The heat of Kaido hits him instantly. Boom! Beast Kaido still has hot smoke in his mouth. Then he said, Linlin, ready to retreat, it doesn't make sense to fight on. Well, I know. The ant also knows that it doesn't make much sense to fight. The goal has been achieved. Although Kaido and Charlotte Linlin are not afraid of people from world government and naval headquarters. But the other side's reinforcements can continue to increase continuously. This is more unfavorable for them. If you want to be strong, at least you have to bring all your combat power next time. Let's fight head on. After the two talked, they began to retreat. The explosion smoke slowly dissipated. You two bastards, don't want to run away. The bald Five Elders saw Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. Ready to start fleeing. How can this kind of thing be promised? Here comes the naval headquarters and it's done wildly, and it hurts Sengoku. Now I want to pat my butt and leave? Is there such a good thing? Two Five Elders and Moonwalk erupted at the same time, they caught up. Whatever they said, Kaido and Charlotte Linlin had to be left behind. Otherwise, their world government will be really shameless. After being invaded by pirates and unscrupulously invaded naval headquarters, can you still sway people away? Kong turned his head to Kizaru and said, Kizaru, go and take care of Sengoku. Of course, try to treat as much as possible. Five Elders and I went to chase the beasts Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. Kong didn't call Kizaru, so he couldn't let Sengoku know one watch. Although Sengoku's life is disappearing, there is still a little faint breath. Even knowing that there is no hope, a dead horse will be a living horse doctor. I see, Commander Kong. Kizaru is about this kind of task. It is also very willing to accept. After all, if you chase 2 Four Emperors, it won't be so easy. Why not stay and look after Mr. Sengoku? At the same time sigh in my heart. It's really not peaceful. On the other side, Aokiji leads all marine forces in a decisive battle with the Whitebeard pirates. On this side, Kaido and Charlotte Linlin invaded by the beasts. This caused Sengoku to have accidents. It feels that it is not safe, it is best to stay away from the battlefield. Kong didn't see what Kizaru thought in his heart. There is no time to think about it. After speaking, he immediately stepped on the moonwalk and followed. Still the same as when they came. The beasts fly in the form of a Kaido dragon. The ant flies on the clouds of Thundercloud Zeus. In this way, the two began to move away from naval headquarters. The two five elders followed at full speed. You two bastards, don't want to escape. Five elders stared at the beasts Kaido and Charlotte Linlin in the distance and roared. Beast Kaido and Charlotte Linlin looked at each other. Turn around at the same time. The ant called, Prometheus. Yes, mother. Flame Prometheus immediately turned into a ball of flame. The ant clasped Napoleon in both hands, and Kaido of the beasts has also exited the dragon form and turned into the human beast form. Falling on the flames of Prometheus, raise the mace. The bald five elders and the tall five elders immediately rang the alarm bells. No, we have to defend quickly, the tall man said quickly. The bald five elders also understands the meaning. It must be defensive and unloading quickly. At the same time, the two also thought of one thing. That is, Sengoku may be killed by the combination of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. Otherwise, just because of Sengoku's strength, it is impossible for an accident to occur in such a short period of time. Even if you fight against 2-4 emperors at the same time, you will be able to stand up for a longer time. Because Sengoku has the ability of the big Buddha fruit, its defense is also a strong point. Now the two five elders understand. There is nothing wrong with the trick that Kaido and Charlotte Linlin are using now. Kong, who catches up behind, is still confused. I caught up so soon. So why did five elders stop? But within 2 seconds, his nerves were tense. He saw that Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, the beasts, are planning to use combo skills. 2-4 emperors use combo techniques. Even if they are admiral level combat power, they can't hold them. When did these two people start to have this trick? If Beasts Pirates and the Big Mom Pirate Group, they have always belonged to a strategic alliance relationship. So while these two people are the biggest threat, this combo is a deadly threat. This kind of trick can definitely kill any admiral quickly. Even killing 4 emperors is not too difficult. I thought the alliance between the two was a huge threat. Now that there will be a war with these two people in the future, they must not be allowed to stay together. Who can stand up to such tricks at every turn? The two five elders quickly made a defensive posture. After Kong came over, he joined in the same defensive posture. Form a 3-person iron arm mode. In short, this wave of attacks must be resisted. The violent cyclone tornado went straight to the two five elders and Kong. The three roared at the same time. They all tried their best and rushed forward with all their strength. Boom! A violent explosion occurred over the entire sea. The wind howls. The situation is changing. The sea is flowing back. Turned upside down. After a burst of attacks, although the two five elders and Kong successfully filed the combo of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. But it doesn't feel good at all. Fortunately, nothing hurts. It's just a little blood rolling. For the top players, this level is nothing. The 5 people fought together in an instant. Holy Land Marijoy. At this time, the Gemming army had invaded the seat of the world government, Marijoy. Sabo takes the lead, Ivankov next to him, and a few 4 marine captains. Koala and others are also together. Sabo asked, Ivan, Mr. Long, are you already on the way here? Ivankov responded, Mr. Long, he is already on his way. I guess it will arrive in a while. This time the brother ordered the army to directly invade the Holy Land Marijoy. Because this is a great opportunity, they found very important information. Not only is Marine attacking the entire army, going to a decisive battle with the Whitebeard pirates. The world government also dispatched important troops. At the same time, the 2-4 emperors Kaido and Charlotte Linlin also invaded the naval headquarters. Kong, who was still chasing them, suddenly left. I heard that 5 elders also dispatched several people. It can be said that the entire Holy Land Marijoy at this moment is truly the weakest period. So how could their brother Mingjun let this opportunity pass? Don't think about it, just start the action. In this case, we will directly start to act. Mr. Long comes over and can join the battlefield in time. Sabo suggested. The others also nodded one after another. Because it is obvious that it is the best time to start operations during this period. Definitely be able to catch the world government by surprise. Everyone in the life-threatening army finished talking. In an instant, the soldiers split into several directions and all rushed out. Marijoy, a holy place that was originally very peaceful, the explosion sounded again and again. The 3-5 elders who have not yet acted have also received news of a large-scale invasion of the world government by the Gemming army. Even if the mood is stable in normal times, can't help but break the cup. Damn it. It's all reversed. The whole world is already in the flames of war. According to the news coming from everywhere, there is basically no one intact. The whole situation is completely out of the control of the world government. The 3-5 elders glanced at each other, and the 3 of them were about to act. In fact, even them felt that the whole situation was completely out of control. It is conceivable how serious the strangeness is. The Whitebeard pirate group, Luo Tian, publicly executed celestial dragons and did not say. They also dispatched troops, as well as the naval headquarters. And the red-haired Shanks was also blocked Beasts pirates and the Big Mom pirates, and red hair pirates are fighting at sea. Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, the Beasts, invade naval headquarters. Now the Ghetto army is also invading the Holy Land Marijoy. The whole world is in chaos, notify them that Kong is back. The Holy Land Marijoy is more important here. As for the beasts, Kaido and Charlotte Linlin? Wait for us to make time to sell this account. 8-character Who 5 Elders said coldly, it is true that no loss can make the Holy Land Marijoy lose. The life-threatening army is really looking for death. They dare to invade here during the weakest period of the world government. If you dare to come, then stay here forever, Monkey D. Dragon. When 5 elders with a long beard read, Monkey D. Dragon, the tone was very strong. In the outer waters of naval headquarters, 5 top maritime players are fighting together. Even on the side of the world government, the combat power has the advantage. There are 2 5 elders and Kong 3. It also failed to gain an advantage in the battle. Beast Kaido and Charlotte Linlin are both invincible characters in defense and resilience. The seawater in the entire sea area has never stopped fluctuating. Constantly choppy, in fact, where they didn't care. Morgans, the old fritters, has been sensitively aware of the changes. So let the people under you spread out in large numbers. Including Newsbird Seagull, on the seagulls, there are also videophone worms. The previous battle scene of naval headquarters. The headquarters, which has also been formed by Morgans, received the picture. It can be said that this time Morgans also intends to make a whole wave. In this way, he will be greatly famous. Take advantage of the collision between these top forces on the sea. Use this information to quickly improve his fame and popularity. Just when the 5-person melee fight was in full swing, the phone worm on the bald 5 elders rang, suddenly frowned. This phone, but their own internal phone of 5 elders. It sounded at this time, and something definitely happened again. The taller 5 elders also reacted. These 5 elders are the clearest. Kong next to him also knows these things. Then he can only temporarily let go of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin of beasts. The beasts Kaido and Charlotte Linlin also saw the 2 5 elders and Kong stop. Followed to stop the attack. The 2 had already planned to evacuate. But the problem of face, since the opponent is chasing, then counterattack. Now that the opponent is not fighting, they are also evacuating. The battlefield of the Whitebeard pirates and Marine. Even if Kizaru and Garp left, the fighting intensity has not decreased at all. But one battlefield is more special. Only Luo Tian can see the anomaly, as well as the Bikita who is at war. As for how Bikita knew, because Bikita is the person who directly fights against Dao Mian. So it can be clearly known that the female Marine Admiral opposite never thought of hurting his vitals or killing him. As if more of a discussion, this makes Bikita feel particularly weird. How, this time Marine came, shouldn't it be to rescue celestial dragons and attack desperately? The other Marines are desperately attacking. Why, Momoshiki doesn't seem to care about the death of celestial dragons at all. But it should be Marine who hates celestial dragons. Bikita can only think so, because of other factors. Bikita still can't think of how comprehensive it is. And Momoshiki knew that he was with Luo Tian. Therefore, in the battle with Bikita, it is more about the swordsmanship. There is no purpose in killing Bikita. Stallo Berry was violently violent, and suddenly felt a sharp sword aura coming over. Immediately raised the double knives to block. The powerful sword spirit beat Stallo Berry back more than 10 meters. Are you, Whitebeard, captain of the new 18th division of the Whitebeard pirates? Stallo Berry has been paying attention to celestial dragons just now. So I didn't notice the sudden attack, and now I took a closer look at it and my face was suddenly panicked. The power of the attack just now cannot be underestimated. Vice Admiral of Naval Headquarters, come on, fight with me. If you win, you will survive. If you lose, you will die here. Whitebeard has a cigarette in the corner of his mouth. Of course, opponents who can test their strength can let it go, and said in an unusually calm tone. Huh, what a shame. Whitebeard, what is your strength? Don't you have any points in your heart? I am the Naval Headquarters Elite Vice Admiral, so I will meet you. Although Stallo Berry has never fought against the Ice Witch Whitby, there is still information in Marine. I also generally understand the strength of Whitby, so Stallo Berry feels that it is impossible for him to lose. Are you confident? Then take it, slow ice music. Whitebeard was full of powerful sword power the moment he pulled out the sword. Staring at Stallo Berry's one-strike nirvana. What, how is it possible? Such a powerful swordsmanship level. Stallo Berry saw that Whitby could make such a powerful sword attack. This is definitely the level of a top swordsman. Armament Haki drove to maximize the armed hardening of 2-weapon long swords. Difficult to block Armand's slashing attack. I thought, damn, the strength of this woman? Trouble? In the end, he barely managed to top off this slash without hesitation. Armand slammed several slashes again. Stallo Berry had a slash that didn't block the injured shoulder. Tear. Blood spurted out. S-level swordsmanship is too lethal, if Stallo Berry is only defending against Whitebeard's swordsmanship. Basically, it won't be long before they will be defeated. Damn it. Stallo Berry quickly approached Whitby with his injured body for a close fight. The knives of the two directly engaged in a quick confrontation, ding and ding. 353. Those who were still far away, watching the scene of the two fighting, swallowed their saliva unconsciously. Whether it is the Marine Vice Admiral or the female swordsman of the Whitebeard pirates. Everyone is an expert, if only they had this kind of strength too. Whitby attacked Staloberry with various swordsmanship routes. Staloberry can barely handle it. No way, at the level of swordsmanship, Staloberry is indeed a grade lower than Whitby. If it weren't for other abilities, they were pretty good. It's really not an opponent at all, it's not like I can barely resist it now. The time of fighting continues to lengthen. Staloberry only found out at this time the strength of this Whitebeard. Observation Haki and armament Haki are compared with himself, and they are almost the same. Physical skill is estimated to be worse than him. But that swordsmanship is too fierce, as long as one inadvertently, Staloberry, he feels that he will be killed instantly. It is completely unimaginable that he has only seen this kind of fierce swordsmanship in the Naval Headquarters candidate Admiral Momosagi. I didn't expect to see it from a woman again today. Damn it, it is estimated that I will really die here today. Luo Tian is even more a monster among monsters. However, as a Justice Marine, there is no such thing as fear of death. Only fight to the end. Whitby's strength is getting stronger and stronger. I don't know if we will be so strong in the future? Robin looked at Whitebeard and he really grew a lot. This strength, if it is still in the Big Mom pirate group, already able to hold the position of General Star. This strength is also the standard for entering the General Star rank. Others, as long as they have not reached this strength, it is basically impossible to enter the position of General Star. In fact, Whitebeard's strength is already stronger than Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral. In the position of Vice Admiral, no one is better than Whitby. In addition to a few special Vice Admiral, Garp Vice Admiral, and Crane Vice Admiral. The T-Dolphin who hangs Vice Admiral, but actually alternates Admiral. That Momosagi is also a swordsman. One-handed swordsmanship is also amazing. However, at present, it is possible that Whitebeard's swordsmanship is several levels lower than Momosagi Admiral. Robin is also constantly analyzing the battle situation. At the same time, he also evaluated the swordsmanship of Whitebeard. In the future, Whitebeard is definitely one of the pride of women. Proper female swordsmen. Male swordsmen alone are already a minority. Not to mention, female swordsmen, that is completely rare. Luo Tian smiled too. This is the titan under his own hand, signature. Judging from this situation, Whitebeard will definitely be able to stabilize the S-level strength in the future. In the battlefield. What's the matter, Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral, is there only this strength? I can't see the use of waste. After fighting for such a period of time, Whitebeard saw that this Marine Vice Admiral could only defend against his own attacks all the way, and became disappointed. Whitebeard wanted to find someone who could give play to his strength, not such an opponent who could easily form a crush. Don't be overwhelmed, pirate, justice will prevail. Regardless of the outcome, I bet on the Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral name, and I will kill you too. Staloberry, it's already planned, life or something is no longer important. The important thing is to eliminate the enemy in front of you. No matter what method is used, as long as it can defeat Whitebeard. Staloberry will already use it without hesitation. Do you think that Marine Vice Admiral seems to be being beaten up all the time? A screen-watching pirate was talking while watching. This woman was originally a pirate captain of the Whitebeard pirate group. Now I am the captain of the 18th Division. I didn't expect that just a single subordinate would be strong like this. It's terrible, the status of these sea overlords can't be shaken at all. Another pirate sighed. These people gave these people watching the battle a great psychological touch. For such a huge marine, there are so many Vice Admiral, not to mention the Naval Headquarters highest combat power Admiral. In addition, these maritime overlords are also, there are countless capable people under his hands. Now there is a woman alone. That hand of swordsmanship is so strong. They all pressed Marine Vice Admiral all the time. These little pirates even met one of the two people in the field. It's about to run away, not to mention, there are huge forces behind them. Chapter 164 Robin Nami Saori plays the Temple Army of the World Government. After joining the battlefield, the whole battle situation began to change continuously. The fighting power of these 8 people is comparable to that of the previous squad captains of the Whitebeard pirates. Although not as powerful as Marco, it is almost as powerful as Bikita. Such a powerful person, adding 8 in one breath, instantly made the situation that was originally a white-hot stage. The sloping frequency began to appear constantly. That is to say, the Whitebeard pirate group began to continuously enter the disadvantages. General squad captains and subordinate pirate captains can't withstand the rapid impact of these people at all. This scene made people all over the world think that this battlefield war might finally be the victory of Marine. The Whitebeard pirates are about to lose, because it is too fast. Although the previous Whitebeard pirates' high-level combat power comparison, Marine is a slight disadvantage. But it's not obvious, and because of the strongest 4 emperors Luo Tian, he has not yet started to act. So they did not see that the final result of the war would go to that end. But now what they see is what they see. The Whitebeard pirate group has begun to show continuous disadvantages. And those people belong to the world government. They also understand that world government is really not easy. So many powerful people are dispatched right away. Those 8 people alone can compare to a senior cadre of the 4 emperors pirate group. It is indeed the strongest force that can stand on top of the world for 800 years. However, the people who watched did not directly think that the Whitebeard pirates would lose like this. Luo Tian, the strongest in the world, has not been dispatched yet. Super monster among super monsters. Now people have always been calm. Marco and Zephyr also saw this situation. Just rushed over and intercepted the 8 people from the world government. Can't let them kill their people so unscrupulously. Otherwise, the casualties will continue to increase rapidly. No matter how strong the Whitebeard pirate group is, it can't stand the rapid consumption of troops. Zephyr Marine 6 Styles rushed in quickly. The powerful armament Haki fisted straight to the group of people. The strong wind blows up the dust on the ground. People from the World Government Temple see the people in front of them. Is that the original Admiral of Headquarters Zephyr? It's just a trash that betrayed the World Government. Used as Admiral? First, don't think Marine has any vision at all. The people of the Temple Army began to mock Zephyr constantly, even with the Naval Headquarters. Also ridiculed. Marine, who heard it next to him, was immediately angry. The people of this World Government are really damn it. Do you think you can look down on their Naval Headquarters in World Government? But now in this special period, Marine hasn't freaked out either. Even if you regenerate your energy, you can only hold it in your heart. Zephyr rushed in, and the 3 Templar men immediately surrounded them. Compete with Zephyr in a 6-stance martial arts showdown. These people in the world government are also masters of various physical skills. Zephyr and the 3 men fought together. For a while, there was no advantage. It also seemed a little passive. Deal with 3 people in a row, even if Zephyr recovers from his injuries, but is older. It still seems difficult to deal with 3 people at the same time. Marco also flew fast all the way, turned around and kicked one of the members of the World Government Templar. The White Templar guarded his head with his hands. Marco kicked the man, just when Marco's attack ended. Another Templar used a 6-style shaver and rushed in front of Marco. Finger pistol. Marco also knew that someone had sneaked over, but Marco did not choose to dodge or defend. Directly accept this person's attack head-on. Marco's head was directly broken by finger pistol. But there was no bleeding. Like Logia fluid, Marco's entire head was burning with blue flames. These flames are quickly repairing Marco's wound. It's really troublesome devil fruit ability. It feels more difficult to deal with than Logia. Obviously I already use Haki. It turned out to be no effect at all. The people of the Templar were particularly troubled by the devil fruit ability of Captain Marco of the Whitebeard Pirate Regiment. Because no matter how you attack, the opponent can recover quickly. Regardless of recovery, he used armament Haki to attack, and he still couldn't hurt the opponent. There were also 3 people who came up and besieged Marco. The remaining 2 people continued to advance. However, it was intercepted by several pirate captains of the Whitebeard pirate group. But even in this situation, the situation of the Whitebeard pirates still did not gain any advantage. Just when the situation of the Whitebeard pirates became more and more unfavorable, Saori asked, I want to go up and fight. Didn't Luo Tian say that my devil fruit ability is very strong? When the situation became unfavorable, a few women were behind the Whitebeard pirates. Among them, Saori took the lead in getting anxious. Robin also hesitated, because Luo Tian didn't let them also participate in the war. Although it is strong to help them, but they didn't dare to go straight up. After all, the strength of a few of them is not strong. Shirley basically has no combat effectiveness. What about Nami? Although it has the ability to bubble fruit. It can be considered as having a certain combat effectiveness, but the opponent Marine has too many people better than Nami, and it is not safe to go up. And Robin himself, although among several women, the strength is considered the strongest. But it's just so, going up is still full of danger. But there is one exception, and that is Ain. Now Ain has been fighting for a long time. This has always been a frontline battle in itself. I have become accustomed to fighting. However, Robin and Nami have not participated in any decent battles. But Robin has more or less. This moment is full of dangers. Now that Saori wants to rush to fight, Robin and Nami are also hesitant. Saori is Logia demon fruit power. As long as Marine does not know Haki, Saori will not be harmed. But in case the opponent will become Haki, Saori also becomes very dangerous. Saori was a little worried. Look at the expressions of Robin, Nami and Shirley. This is not going to let her go up to fight. You have to think of a way. Otherwise, it's not a way to keep watching from behind. Robin, Nami, and Shirley looked at Saori with expectant eyes. Suddenly he was a little relieved. Nami said, why don't we go together, at least one will help each other. Also find an opponent who is not too strong, it should be fine. I also think what Nami said makes sense. Shirley nodded, agreeing with Nami's opinion. Find an opponent who is not very strong, it is at least safer. Actually Robin also wants to go up to fight, staying behind is not a solution. Robin decided to say, let's go together, Shirley, don't go. After all, your strength is not enough, in case something unexpected happens. It's not easy to explain to Luo Tian, since he was going to fight, Robin didn't plan to let Shirley go with him. Shirley is not to blame, it is true that Shirley's combat effectiveness is simply not enough. I understand this. Shirley knew that he would go up, and he would definitely be dragged down. It's better to stay in the back all the time. On Marine's side, Hina used her Sil Fruit ability to knock several pirates flying again. When preparing to rush again, suddenly 3 women jumped out in front of my eyes. Hina frowned directly. After seeing it clearly with his wrist, he found it was Nami, the navigator of the Whitebeard pirates. And Nico Robin, the son of the devil. There is also a girl who I don't know. In Marine's profile, Nico Robin and Nami are demon fruit power. As for the other girl, there is no record in Marine's data. But looking at the girl's appearance, there is nothing to worry about. Even if it is a woman-to-woman war, there is no need to be polite. Hina shook off the marine code justice cloak on her body. Said, "Is there no one in the Whitebeard pirates? Send 3 women to fight with my mother." Hina has already looked down on the strength of this woman between her words. At the same time, he looked down on the Whitebeard pirate group in Luo Tian. Is there no one in this Whitebeard pirates group anymore? I already need a woman to come out to fight. Of course, if it's a fighting woman, Hina won't look down upon it. Mainly these women, none of them belong to the fighting type. This is an obvious problem. At this time Saori replied uncomfortably, "Aren't you also a woman? Why look down on us? If you have the ability, let's just fight to see who is better." Saori is straight back to Hina without showing any weakness. Hina is not angry or anything, but it feels a little funny. The young girl in front of her seemed to be full of vitality. But it is a pity to take the road of Shanghai Thief. So Hina directly uses her devil fruit ability. An iron railing sweeps horizontally towards the yarn. Sudden attack speed. For today's Saori, this speed simply cannot be reflected. But Hina's attack directly penetrated Saori's body. Hina is still very confident. Suddenly directly, it changed color. Shocked and said, "That's your Logia demon fruit power? It looks like Logia fruity." Unexpectedly, Luo Tian really has the means to get devil fruit like this. Give it back to a girl like you. However, even if it is Logia's fruit, if there is no relative strength, Logia devil fruit will still be useless. This point, others should have already told you. Hina was a little surprised by Saori's devil fruit ability. But it was just a surprise, not too shocked. Even Logia needs good kings to have its own strength as a support. Of course there is a little benefit. Those who don't have armament Haki are not Saori's opponents at all. Only those who control armament Haki can fight against Saori. It just so happens that Hina herself knows a little armament Haki. Although I just learned armament Haki not long ago, it is good enough. In this case, just hit the opponent. There is no need to have an armament Haki that is too large. Because the strength of the yarn weaving on the opposite side is not very strong either. Although I have to deal with 3 people in one go, all 3 of them are still demon fruit power. There is pressure and there is pressure, but this pressure is not too great for Hina. Just give full play to your combat effectiveness. Luo Tian on the execution stage, looking at Robin and Nami, they couldn't help but ran up to fight. Luo Tian also supports this, regardless of the final outcome of the battle. As long as it is not losing his life. So the accumulation of combat experience is for a few of them at present. Both are particularly important. Devil Fruit's ability also needs continuous actual combat to continuously improve and upgrade. Luo Tian did not ask too much for them, as long as Robin and Nami Saori Shirley are not life-threatening. Chapter 165 Super Monster. Among super monsters, Crane Vice Admiral stood beside Aokiji, although his face was still calm. But deep in my heart, I was already anxious, especially worried about Sengoku. I don't know if Kizaru and Garp, including the world government, can provide timely support. If it's late, something will happen to Sengoku. Aokiji saw Suru's staff's concern. So he planned to comfort the seniors, but there was no bottom in his heart. Said, "Senior Suru, let's trust Mr. Sengoku. He must be able to hold on until the support arrives. We should now do our best to eliminate the Whitebeard pirate group in Luo Tian. Because on our side, this is the most important task." Although Aokiji said so, there was also no bottom in my heart. I thought Kizaru and Garp Senpai were there. At least the odds of winning will be greater. Unfortunately, the result. Even now they have already suppressed all their combat power. It is also an advantage. This advantage is also clearly visible. But the other party, still Luo Tian, didn't move out. Aokiji is alone, but he doesn't have any confidence that he can defeat Luo Tian on his own. What kind of strength Luo Tian is, Aokiji has learned. So it was clear that he went up to fight alone with Luo Tian. There is no chance of winning. The winning rate can be said to be 0. Aokiji is not just paying attention to Luo Tian. At the same time watching the whole battle, because there is no room for mistakes. Once there is a big mistake, the result may be a loss of all games. This kind of result is totally unbearable by Marine. So Aokiji will be especially cautious. The battle between Fujitora and Shiryu of Rain has been fighting for a while. Overall, Fujitora has begun to slowly gain an advantage. Then this advantage grows very slowly. Even so, as time stretches, Fujitora's defeat of Yuji Shiryu is a certainty. Green Bull has also been expanding its advantages against the Diamond Joes. Admiral level combat power is admiral level, not a Whitebeard pirate group captain can fight. Even if they can briefly fight their admiral, also 363 can't keep going evenly. Failure is only a matter of time. However, there is a battlefield that makes Aokiji feel a little weird, even if Taumu's strength is barely touching the admiral level. But he has been fighting with that foil more than Keita. It's not right, it's not exactly the same. Swordsmanship has slightly suppressed the foil Bakita. It just didn't hurt the opponent. However, Aokiji couldn't think about these issues in detail. As long as Taoma can defeat that Bakita in the end, However, the captains of the other squads and those of the pirate captains are desperately resisting the backbone of Marine. Although he still has cranes left on their side, Vice Admiral hasn't moved out yet. The 8 people in the world government also put tremendous pressure on the Whitebeard pirates. But Zephyr and Marco are also blocking. In fact, Aokiji had mixed feelings when he saw Zephyr fighting so desperately. Although Aokiji didn't know how Luo Tian managed to recover Zephyr's physical condition. Even if it has recovered, the fighting capacity has also recovered, but it is getting older. In any case, there is no longer the state of the prime of life. Teacher Zephyr, who was in the battle, is also starting to suffer from injuries. After all, the strength of the opponents of the 3 world governments is not simple. It is very difficult for one person to fight against such 3 people. Even if Teacher Zephyr is now regaining Admiral-level combat power, it is a pity that he will eventually lose the speed. It is also faster than Diamond Joe's or Shiryu of the Rain. Because those 8 people are far behind Admiral. But this gap is not a particularly remote gap. As for that Marco, Aokiji doesn't know what to say. Too resistant to beating. Even if Marco is now fighting against the 3, he is not hurting. Pity there were no fatal injuries, he recovered immediately after being injured. However, Aokiji believes that even Marco's resilience is terrifying. This horror has a limit. He has Devil Fruit ability. It needs to consume energy. ACCC, Marco's physical strength cannot be unlimited. So as long as it continues to be consumed, Marco will have only one ending in the end. That is defeat. There is no other second possibility. Today, as long as it is a game above the backbone. It is all-round Marine gains an advantage, and this excellence continues to expand. Aokiji raised his head and glanced at Luo Tian. Found that Luo Tian was looking at him with a smile. Suddenly, Aokiji felt like a cold whoosh. I almost doubt that he is still frozen demon fruit power. How can I feel cold? Aokiji also very confused. At present, they Marine have a huge advantage. The disadvantage of the Whitebeard pirates is becoming more and more obvious. Why is Luo Tian so calm? Still think that in the end Luo Tian will think that the Whitebeard pirates won the victory. Aokiji admits that Luo Tian's strength is very strong. It's too strong to say anything. One person can suppress Admiral, including killing Admiral. But, Luo Tian's terrifying strength send out 2 Admiral. As long as 2 Admiral go all out, then we can still compete with Luo Tian. The 3 Admiral broke out to fight Luo Tian with all their strength. In the end, they Marine will be victorious. This is also the result of repeated calculations by their Marine. Admiral of Headquarters is already the ceiling of the sea. Even the Pirate 4 Emperors is also the ceiling combat power. They are all ceiling combat power, that is, they all belong to the same realm. So even if there is a gap, this gap will not appear one-sided. Luo Tian's situation, when Marine is about to come to fight. A full investigation has been made. Luo Tian's combat power is the limit among the limits of ceiling combat power. Aokiji didn't know these things before. Later, after Sengoku and Garp seniors explained. I just know some secret things. The 4 Emperors and their Marine Admiral belong to the same realm. The reason why those pirates, 4 Emperors, will be stronger. It is because one of their abilities is extremely outstanding. Aunt Charlotte Linlin's steel balloon defense power. The resilience of the pervert of Kaido is like a tank. The red-haired Shanks Conqueror's Haki greatly increased the upper limit of their 4 Emperors. So Marine Admiral fights alone, there is no need to be too afraid of these 4 Emperors. Although they will lose, but this fighting time will take at least 3 or 5 days to determine the winner. But before Garp and Mr. Sengoku, they also mentioned. Why is Whitebeard known as the strongest man in the world when he is alive? It's because Whitebeard's combat power really surpassed that limit. It can be said that half of the foot has exceeded the ceiling combat power limit. Belongs to a real supermonster. In addition, One Piece Roger also belongs to the same realm as Whitebeard. Half of the foot exceeds the limit of the ceiling's combat power. Just such 2 terrifying people, excluding Luo Tian, there is a monster that is even more powerful than them. That's Rox, the man who once wanted the king of the world. This man was the monster that Garp and Roger defeated together. Now Luo Tian, a monster as powerful as Rox, is of that level. Not only that, compared with Rox, Luo Tian's ability is more troublesome. In a word, Luo Tian is the most terrifying person that has appeared in the past few hundred years. None of them. Because he is more difficult to deal with than Rox, and even more terrifying than his former captain, Whitebeard. When dealing with Luo Tian this time, Aokiji had never thought about whether he would survive in the end. Looking at Luo Tian who was smiling. Aokiji's eyes were dead. The crane beside him sighed and encouraged, Aokiji, don't be too discouraged. Wait for my old lady, she will also deal with Luo Tian together. Absolutely can't let Luo Tian grow, otherwise, nothing can be stopped in the future. It is not only Aokiji who has the plan to die desperately, but Tsuru himself also has the plan. The enemy in front of you is not a simple character. There is no determination to die, then don't think about defeating Luo Tian. Because that is impossible, Senior Crane, don't worry. It won't make you sacrifice. Aokiji didn't even think of making Crane really sacrifice. Suddenly at this moment from a distant place, the sound of stepping in the air was heard. People with good eyesight and observation Haki. Someone has been found coming. So he looked at it in a blink of an eye. That's 7 warlords of the sea, Doflamingo? Great, it's 7 warlords of the sea. Now we have a greater chance of defeating the Whitebeard pirates. Wait for death. The Whitebeard pirates. Today, your Whitebeard pirates are destined to be wiped out by Marine. Marines, the person who saw it was 7 warlords of the sea. They can also be regarded as their alliance partners. Even if it does not belong to Marine, but it is also one of the organizations that belong to the world government. Doflamingo is fast in the air. In a blink of an eye, he has arrived on the battlefield. Fall to the ground. Suddenly, all of the members of the Whitebeard pirate group began to tighten up. Now they are under great pressure. Join in adding powerful enemies. It will undoubtedly increase their pressure. Damn it, 7 warlords of the sea. These most annoying world government running dogs, 7 warlords of the sea. Some pirates of the Whitebeard pirate group began to curse. Now they are facing people from naval headquarters and world government. There is no extra power to fight against these 7 warlords of the sea. It's still a disadvantage, if 7 warlords of the sea is putting in combat power. Maybe their Whitebeard pirate group is really going to be dangerous. But they still have Captain Luo Tian. This is also a comfort. After Doflamingo came over, he didn't directly kill him without thinking. At least you have to analyze the situation. He and the Whitebeard pirates have a cooperative relationship. Although the cooperation is not very deep, but there is also a partnership. Doflamingo's own plan, also if Marine has an advantage. In the end, the Whitebeard pirates could be defeated. Then Doflamingo intends to contribute. If the Whitebeard pirates will defeat Marine in the end. Feel sorry Doflamingo, really decided to go to work without any effort. Nothing made his life more important. On the other side, Vice Admiral looked at the sea rogue Doflamingo. She also chased Doflamingo for a while. Now Doflamingo is famous. But Crane also knew that Doflamingo did a lot of bad things behind his back. These things combined were enough for Marine to arrest Doflamingo directly. But because Doflamingo has a rich network, Marine is not easy to do it directly. Crane can probably guess a possibility. That's this time Doflamingo, maybe it will be soy sauce. No matter how angry and helpless, now this world government and Marine both need Doflamingo. These can buy time for Marine. At this stage, as long as Doflamingo is willing to contribute. In addition, Marine has not requested too much. Chapter 166 Old and New 7 Warlords of the Sea Break. After Doflamingo arrived on the battlefield, Buffalo, the captain of the 13th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates, rushed over. Doflamingo die. Buffalo brandished 2 machetes, and after approaching Doflamingo, it slashed. There is no pause at all. Come on, Captain Buffalo. Kill Doflamingo. Let 7 warlords of the sea know the fate of provoking us Whitebeard pirates. The pirates of the Whitebeard pirate group next to them are constantly cheering for Captain Buffalo. The Buffalo is quite offensive brave, but Doflamingo is really easy, constantly avoiding all kinds of attacks from the Buffalo. Just now Doflamingo also observed the entire battle. It was discovered that the Whitebeard sea thief group is at a disadvantage. This disadvantage is still obvious. Originally, Doflamingo also planned to do something in front of Marine. But now that the captain of the 13th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates, Buffalo, rushed by himself. Then Doflamingo will not be polite. I plan to play with this grumpy Buffalo. Of course, a lesson must be given. Doflamingo is afraid of Luo Tian, but he is not afraid of these squad captains. Even if it is Marco and Shiryu of Rain, Doflamingo is not afraid. Because Doflamingo doesn't think his strength, he will lose to Marco and others. But Luo Tian is different. That's a real supermonster, he can't afford to Doflamingo. Now it's just doing a look for Marine. The offensive Buffalo also knows that some have made a big deal. No matter how he attacked, he couldn't hit Doflamingo. Obviously Doflamingo started playing with Buffalo directly. Damn Doflamingo, what the hell did you do to me? Why can't I move? Buffalo already knew that he was controlled by Doflamingo's devil fruit ability. Doflamingo kept sneering. Sneer at this Buffalo, the captain of the 13th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates, who is too clueless. There is no distinction at all. What is the difference in strength? I really thought that the Whitebeard pirate group is now the strongest pirate group in the world. At the same time Luo Tian is also the strongest in the world. Then you are a small squad captain? Do you dare to be like this? If in normal times, Doflamingo is ready to cut the Buffalo. But Doflamingo, can only endure playing games with the Buffalo. Can't kill him yet. That man Luo Tian is still watching from a distance. Doflamingo didn't want to touch this brow, Then I will play with you, the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, Buffalo. Doflamingo uses the string fruit ability to control the Buffalo. Damn it's B******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** Suru looked at this. Doflamingo was not fighting the soy sauce like last time on the top of the war. Even if they drag on a squad captain, they feel a sense of relief. It's not easy. Let these 7 warlords of the sea contribute. Even if an ordinary squad leader is dragged, their marine can free up a rear admiral or vice admiral combat power. The pressure on the Whitebeard pirates can increase. Just when Doflamingo arrived on the battlefield, it took less than 5 minutes. A submarine appeared on the sea far away from the ice. Bibo asked, "Captain, the sea is frozen now. We can only walk across the ice." In fact, the Red Heart Pirates has already arrived for nearly half an hour. But it never appeared. Trafalgar Law is waiting for Doflamingo to appear. If in the end Doflamingo didn't show up, then Luo himself did not intend to appear. Because his goal is Doflamingo. Doflamingo is not there, it will cause trouble if it appears. Whether it is facing the Whitebeard Pirates or Marine, it is a trouble. Luo responded. You are all staying on the boat. This kind of battle is not something you can participate in. Luo saw his crew, what else did he want to say? So he said directly, don't say more, wait for me here. After Luo finished speaking, he didn't wait for his crew to say anything before using the Devil Fruit ability and disappeared. The Red Heart Pirates and the others, each stretched out their hands, obviously did not stop their Captain Luo. Luo's Op Fruit ability and Space Transfer ability are extremely fast. Already appeared on the battlefield in an instant. In the entire battlefield, there are only 2 people who can know that Luo has appeared long ago. The first person to know is Luo Tian, then came Fujitora. Both are the owners of the super large observation Haki. It is not unusual to find that Luo has arrived. On the contrary, Luo Tian has always been as stable as Mount Tai from beginning to end. The place where Luo appeared was behind Doflamingo. Even Doflamingo, who is not weak, is unprepared, nor could he perceive Luo Hui's sudden appearance. But when Luo appeared, Doflamingo himself noticed that someone suddenly appeared behind him. Doflamingo frowned suddenly, make evasive actions quickly. This evasive action allowed Doflamingo to successfully avoid Luo's sneak attack. When Luo appeared before, he used an Op Fruit ability to aim at a spike. Luo did not expect that Doflamingo's response was so fast. So I just avoided his attack. But Luo didn't expect that by relying on the move just now, he could defeat Doflamingo. To defeat Doflamingo must be a bitter battle. The operation of 7 warlords of the Sea Trafalgar Law shocked everyone. It doesn't matter whether the Whitebeard pirate group or Marine or a few people from the world government. Or those who watch the screen. All of them were trapped by Trafalgar Law's operation. This is the whole one? Evolve into 7 warlords of the sea versus 7 warlords of the sea? Or is this Trafalgar Law intending, the newly promoted 7 warlords of the sea to deal with the veteran 7 warlords of the sea? It is indeed Trafalgar Law's approach, people don't understand. But Luo Tian is very clear, why Trafalgar Law will attack Doflamingo. It is estimated that the hatred in my heart is quite serious. But how does Trafalgar Law fight Doflamingo? Luo Tian will not pay too much attention. But Luo Tian doesn't pay attention, it doesn't mean that others will not pay attention. For others, this is big news. Although not comparable to the current Whitebeard pirates, Luo Tian publicly executed celestial dragons so shocked. But it is also a hot topic. The newly promoted 7 warlords of the sea versus the veteran 7 warlords of the sea. Because Trafalgar Law attacked Doflamingo. The buffalo that was under control just now broke away from Doflamingo's control. Freedom is restored again. Suddenly, there was more or less fear, it was too dangerous just now. That Doflamingo's Devil Fruit ability could directly control him. After controlling it, he couldn't move anymore. Trafalgar Law and Doflamingo also ignore the eyes of others. Just start the duel directly. The 2 7 warlords of the sea fought together instantly. Doflamingo smiled and said, Hey, Luo, grown up. However, you should understand my strength. Since childhood, you have grown up under my hands. Now that I grow up, do you plan to betray the former master, Luo? As Doflamingo spoke, the veins on his head were already violent. I am really angry when I see Trafalgar Law now. As for why you are angry, of course, the more reason is that Op Fruit was eaten by Luo. Betrayed even after eating. As a result, Doflamingo directly lost such an important Devil Fruit ability. This is the top Devil Fruit that can directly perform immortal surgery on people. Humph. You really dare to say anything, Doflamingo, I am going to kill you this time to avenge Mr. Trazyn. You are ready to die, Trafalgar Law, this is the determination to come over with a certain death. 0. For flowers. In any case, Doflamingo must be killed to avenge his benefactor, Trazyn. Founder failed in the end, and it was also a death. Successful, even if you lose the position of 7 warlords of the sea, or be chased by Marine. That's also worth it, because his wish has been fulfilled. People of the Templar, looking at Trafalgar, discuss their own works. That person is the Op Fruit capable person. It is Celestial Dragons, the person who needs Op Fruit the most. Originally, if he was still willing to be 7 warlords of the sea, then it will be more troublesome for us to move him. But now the result is different, during this special period, against another 7 warlords of the sea opponent. That means that Trafalgar Law, 7 warlords of the sea, doesn't want to be a follower. Then after that, we can do it too. Catch back the Op Fruit ability person. At the moment when Trafalgar Law shot Doflamingo, already represents Trafalgar Law and has lost the position of 7 warlords of the sea. If it's normal, it won't be so serious, because this is a special period. Doflamingo is fighting the captain of the Whitebeard pirates. Then this nature is completely different. Marine and others are also particularly disgusted with Trafalgar Law. Suspecting this guy, he came to make trouble. I didn't take a shot at those squad captains or subordinate pirate captains. Did the captain directly do it himself? Isn't this messing with the Marine? Smoker is fighting a pirate captain of the Whitebeard pirate group. The two have also been fighting for a long time. Smoker scolded. I said it a long time ago, these pirates, 7 warlords of the sea, are not reliable at all. It's okay now, these bastards, just come here without helping Marine. It's just here to add chaos. It's better not to have these 7 warlords of the sea. Marine, rely on the power of the pirate, it's a shame. Smoker felt particularly upset about Trafalgar Law's behavior. It also includes Doflamingo, and the pirate captain of the Whitebeard pirate group mocked and said, ha ha ha. First think you Marine should give up, just like you, still want to defeat our Whitebeard pirates? Let's do your big dream. In his opinion, Marine borrowed the power of the pirates, in the name of what he said was for justice. It should be almost selfish. What are you talking about? B********* the pirate. Looking for death. Smoker was already grumpy. Hearing such a stimulus, I can bear it there. Directly do everything possible to attack quickly. It can be said that he directly defeated the captain of the Whitebeard pirate group and continued to lose. But even so, the captain of the pirate still plays very rhythm. Because this is the sudden eruption of Smoker. This kind of sudden outbreak is particularly stamina consuming. Smoker didn't think so much, now it has only one purpose. Then kill these people from the Whitebeard pirates. All these people were resolved. The whole scene became intensely heated. The members of the Whitebeard pirates and Marine have completely killed the Red Eye. The purpose is obvious, that is to kill the opponent. Everything else is floating clouds, and there is only 1 hour left before the public execution of celestial dragons. So Marine is also anxious. The Whitebeard pirates must be eliminated as soon as possible. Otherwise, once the time comes, celestial dragons will be executed. Then you don't have to think about it, the world will definitely cause a major earthquake. Now Marine has been accelerating the attack. Chapter 167 Concubine just sees you upset. Just when everyone was shocked by the newly promoted 7 warlords of the sea Trafalgar Law versus the veteran 7 warlords of the sea Doflamingo. A sharp-eyed person saw a pirate ship in the distance, and it was approaching quickly. After seeing the banner, surprised and said, there are people from 7 warlords of the sea here again. This time it is Boa Hancock, the Empress of 7 warlords of the sea. The caller was a colonel from naval headquarters. There were other Marines who followed. Anyway, as long as 7 warlords of the sea is willing to contribute. Then destroy the Whitebeard pirate group, kill the big pirate Luo Tian, then it is nothing. Yes. Destroy the Whitebeard pirate group, and kill the large pirate Luo Tian. We, Marine, are the strongest power in the world. It stands for absolute justice. A pirate or something, it is impossible to defeat the Justice Marine. Although 7 warlords of the sea are pirates, they are not within the jurisdiction of their Marine. But at least, it's good to be able to put more pressure on the Whitebeard pirates. Boa Hancock did not let the 2 younger sisters and the crewwomen follow. Momoshiki glanced at Boa Hancock from the corner of his eyes. The two experienced brief encounters and conversations last time. Momoshiki also knows that Boa Hancock likes Luo Tian. So this time she came over and glanced at celestial dragons on the execution stage. If nothing else, you should have done something with them Marine. It is impossible to do Luo Tian. Boa Hancock rushed all the way to the center of the island, staring at celestial dragons, 363, with cold eyes. If it weren't for the execution time, it would affect Luo Tian. Boa Hancock did not hesitate to kill celestial dragons directly. Maybe he didn't dare before, but now Boa Hancock has nothing to fear. The men she loves are not afraid of celestial dragons, why should she be afraid of celestial dragons? Crane Vice Admiral looked at Boa Hancock's behavior, and felt something was wrong. Suspiciously said, maybe this Boa Hancock also has a problem. It's not really coming to help us, Aokiji, we have to be prepared. Today's cranes are particularly sensitive. As long as there is any wind and grass, you will immediately notice the abnormality. The remaining time, even if celestial dragons died in the end, was not the most important thing. The most important thing is to finally solve Luo Tian. This is their main task for Marine. Alala, neither did I count Boa Hancock into our combat power. Just don't affect us. Aokiji couldn't tell that this Boa Hancock had no intention of coming over to provide their Marines with combat power. Luo Tian watched the changes in the entire battle situation. I also know that the Whitebeard pirate group is already at a disadvantage. In fact, Luo Tian had already thought of this before. So I didn't worry too much, because there is only one final result, and that is they won. There was only one result for Marine and that was defeat. No one of the pirates of the Whitebeard pirate group actively attacked Boa Hancock. Because now I'm very tired to deal with it, if you are provoking the 7 warlords of the sea. It's more passive. Diamond Joe's side has been fighting very hard. The disadvantages are becoming more and more obvious. The opponent Green Bull is a real admiral level combat power. Diamond Joe's is still some distance away from admiral level combat power. Even with extremely powerful strange power, still can't make up the gap in comprehensive combat power. Green Bull punched down, Diamond Joe's also punched back. Boom. 2 punches collided to produce an explosion. After fighting for less than 10 seconds, Diamond Joe's was beaten back several tens of meters by the Green Bull. Green Bull sneered and said, retreat to lousy. You're just a squad captain. Let your captain Luo Tian be lousy's opponent. Green Bull has begun to ignore Diamond Joe's, because this Diamond Joe's can compete with him except for his strength. It's just a diamond fruit with amazing defensive power. He didn't pay attention to the others. Diamond Joe's kept his whole body diamondized, showing only half of his face. Diamondization has improved Joe's defense a lot. A smile appeared at the corner of his mouth and said, "You are also worthy to challenge Captain Luo Tian? It's still 100 years early, beat me first, let's talk about it." Joe's finished back and rushed to the Green Bull again. Life and death. The Green Bull ran out, fists clenched, and armament Haki gathered. It can be said that Diamond Joe's Devil Fruit ability is more effective for this kind of strong body shape. Compared with Diamond Joe's side, Shiryu of Rain has suffered a lot of injuries on the other side. Rain Shiryu faces Fujitora's Gravitational Fruit. This kind of ability to instantly be suppressed in close combat. Yuji Shiryu has been able to fight against Fujitora, it is not easy. From the beginning of the battle to the present, Rain Shiryu has been suppressed by Fujitora's gravity 4 times. The most hated one. Rain Shiryu was crushed by Fujitora to a depth of several tens of meters underground. At that time, Shiryu broke out with all strength, and a powerful flying slash hit the air. Forcing Fujitora to back away with a smile, he was able to breathe a sigh of relief. Jump out of the pit, but it was Fujitora's blow that caused a lot of damage to Shiryu of Rain. Kakuzu bleeding in the mouth, although it's not a big injury. But to be injured is to be injured, this is an undeniable fact. It can be said that Fujitora's Gravitational Fruit restrains most swordsmen and strong physical skills. Fujitora smiled and opened observation Haki to scan the entire battlefield. Observe that there is another 7 warlords of the sea. The tone was plain and full of anger. These 7 warlords of the sea, this organization really has too many loopholes. It seems that the war is over, it must be abolished as soon as possible. These 7 warlords of the sea, Fujitora is more and more unbearable. Take the privileges granted by the world government. Nothing has been done well at all, he did a lot of nonsense. Yuji Shiryu sneered, "You new admiral, you have a lot of ideas. But you Marines will win this war first, not to mention, you haven't beaten our Whitebeard pirates yet. However, you are doomed to fail. We Captain Luo Tian, but the invincible world is the strongest. Did you figure it out for me?" For those thoughts of Fujitora, Shiryu of Rain wants to laugh when he hears it. Obviously, before defeating them, the Whitebeard pirates, they are already thinking about what will happen next. Is it funny? Those words, Shiryu of the Rain would not be regarded as unheard. "Your Excellency, then you should be prepared to be sanctioned." Fujitora smiled and planned to clean up Shiryu of Rain. Others, as for Luo Tian, since the other party has no plans to make a move now. Then finally tidy up. On the other side, Zephyr was also injured in multiple places, and the whole person was constantly panting. Obviously, Zephyr is very tired now. While exhausted, there were many injuries. Dealing with 3 powerful enemies at the same time, even if these powerful enemies are not as strong as him. But the opponent is directly 3 people. Even if Zephyr regained his admiral level combat effectiveness. Can't stand it at all. It can be said that the speed of defeat was faster than Diamond Joe's and Shiryu of Rain. Because even if these 3 are not as good as admiral level combat effectiveness, they are also enemies at the monster level. Zephyr was able to fight forever because the powerful armament Haki played an important defensive role. Otherwise, the injury will only get worse, but Zephyr didn't give up at all. Zephyr also hates these people in the world government. Now that I have a chance, I hate to kill a few more. Marco's situation is also similar to Zephyr's, although it possesses the undead form of the Eudemon species. However, the opponents of the 3 world governments did not stop their attacks for a while. The attack is continuous and continuous attack. Marco also relies on the powerful Eudemon species of undead form. In order to continue to resist, but Marco's physical exertion is immense. If you continue to recover like this, you will be unable to withstand it when you are strong. Now Marco is standing on the ground with 1 foot, his wings are constantly burning with blue flames. However, one of the wings was obvious and had not fully recovered. Recovery is very slow. Marco squinted his eyes and said, at the same time intercept 3 monsters with a strength of about 1 billion Baileys. It's really exhausting. Marco said that he was tired, but he did not relax in his actions. His eyes fixed on the 3 people in front of him. After Boa Hancock swept the entire battlefield, found that Luo Tian's pirate group is currently at a disadvantage. Suddenly I felt that I came in time. Otherwise, Luo Tian's pirate group might be really dangerous. His eyes suddenly became firm. In that case, directly attack Marine to relieve the pressure on the Whitebeard pirates. Use your own sweet fruit ability. Pull out the red heart. A pink arrow was shot at a member of the World Government Temple Army. This Templar man is still attacking the captain of the Whitebeard pirate group. Suddenly felt an attack approaching from behind. Quickly use Marine 6 styles to shave and avoid Boa Hancock's attack. Turning to look around, he immediately said angrily, 7 warlords of the sea, Boa Hancock? Are you planning to betray the world government? Or, you plan to provoke the majesty of the world government? If it is, then there is no need for your 9 Snake Island. It was really okay just now, the opponent is not strong enough, he is in a suppressed state. So I spared a lot of energy, otherwise it would really be impossible to avoid Boa Hancock's sneak attack. Thinking that it was really a daughter just now, otherwise it will be out of control. This Boa Hancock attack will directly petrify the enemy. Unless it is more powerful than her, or use the powerful armament Haki to directly offset it. Otherwise, I really can't escape the fate of being directly killed by a spike. Humph. No matter what she does, she will be forgiven. Now it is my concubine who looks at you people, very uncomfortable, because you are really an eyesore. So the concubine intends to petrify you all. Boa Hancock directly leaped Haki's side, and constantly used a crushing tone to attack the people of the World Government Temple Army. Boa Hancock's move directly stunned everyone, before Trafalgar Law launched an attack on Doflamingo. To be alive is understood as the new 7 warlords of the sea who wants to challenge the veteran 7 warlords of the sea. But this Boa Hancock is more steel. Attack directly on the people of the 2.2 government of the world. He didn't even care about the warning words of the world government. Momoshagi, who pays attention to Boa Hancock, sighed inwardly. Although thinking that Boa Hancock might help Luo Tian. But still did not expect that Boa Hancock is such a hard steel. Those who directly targeted the world government directly launched an attack. There is no suspense left. Perhaps after this time, the position of Boa Hancock's 7 warlords of the sea has basically been confirmed to be unsafe. But Momoshagi is more open to it, now that Boa Hancock has already done it. On her side, she has to continue to plan slowly, wait until everything is ready. That is the time to completely overthrow the world government. Momoshagi also believes that that moment will not be too far away. Because now Luo Tian has openly shot celestial dragons. Then there will surely be wars that will continue to break out in the future. As for this war, will Luo Tian fail? Momoshagi never thought that Luo Tian would fail. Even at the worst result, Luo Tian has a crisis. Momoshagi will also shoot directly without hesitation. After all, since it has cooperated with Luo Tian. Then you can't let Luo Tian fall down. Momoshagi has already pressed everything on Luo Tian's body. In the future, we will work together to defeat the world government and celestial dragons. Chapter 168 Redhead Shanks worries. Weird rice cakes. Kata Curry uses the awakening power of the glutinous fruit to transform into countless huge arms. Keep hitting the redhead Shanks quickly. The red-haired Shanks waved Griffin and blocked all Kata Curry's attacks. Even after the battle, the red-haired Shanks is still calm. Just when the red-haired Shanks blocked Kata Curry's last weird arm, the flame cinders attacked directly from behind the red-haired Shanks. Draw out the weapon Taisho, the back is burning with flames, incarnate in the form of a human beast pterosaur. Raise your own strength, speed and reaction ability to the limit. It can be said that this time Jin's sneak attack was just right. Normal people, no one can dodge this wave of Kata Curry and Yan Calamity's joint attack. It's a pity that Shanks the Redhead is a top ceiling powerhouse. Even if there is only one arm left, it is not weaker than other ceiling fighters. Redhead Shanks doesn't know how to use various methods. Disappeared for a short distance in an instant. Reappear, already right in front of Yan Baijian's eyes. Yan Baijian's eyes widened. Sure enough, being able to become a person of 4 emperors is not simple at all. Compared to Governor Kaido, the Redhead Shanks is much more flexible. Compared with such a flexible opponent, Jin is not without any way. But it is also necessary to keep vigilant at all times and at the same time look for opportunities to fight back. Yan Calamity Jin tried his best and clenched Taisho with both hands. Slash it with all his strength. Shanks, the Redhead, fought back this time without leaving any leeway. Griffin clenched with one hand, conquerors twined. The entire Griffin produced a strong red flash. The fire alarm bell rang. He doesn't know this kind of trick. His captain, Governor Kaido, often uses Conqueror's entanglement. If such an attack is not good, you will be stunned instantly. Roar of flame embers. O2. Maximize armament Haki to cover the entire weapon while being 2-sword. The whole body is also armament Haki defense. The purpose is to reduce Conqueror's entanglement and the impact on him. Clang. There was a symphony of weapons from both sides. At the moment of the collision, Yan Calamity Jin felt a huge pressure instantly. The force that can produce tremendous pressure is the power of Conqueror's entanglement. This force caused Yan Calamity to start a war drift unconsciously. The explosion sounded. Yan Calamity Cinder couldn't control his whole body, and was immediately beaten out by the red-haired Shanks. It burst out like a meteor, fly hundreds of meters continuously. In the end, it was the flames and embers, spreading his wings and barely stabilizing his body. The flame embers after a pause, staring at the red-haired Shanks coldly. Even if it stops the body now, the whole body is still shaking. It is conceivable that after the fight just now, Yan Calamity was directly under much pressure. This pressure, if it weren't for the strength of Yan Disaster, it would be relatively strong. Really will be suppressed by one trick. None of these people who can become 4 emperors is simple. This hand conquers entanglement. It is enough to beat many people to the point where they can't take care of themselves. Unless they are people of the same level, there are really few who can withstand Conqueror's entanglement. That is to say, the physique of Yan Calamity Jin is very strong, and he can carry it down in one breath. Face off as the top powerhouse, there is no moment of relaxation. Just when the red-haired Shanks hit the flying flames. Kata Curry was also not surprised by the red-haired Shanks hitting the flying flames. But he also did the same, with all his might to kill the red-haired Shanks. Nuo Fruit's ability awakened without stopping for a moment. Wushuang rice cakes. Dozens of glutinous rice circles converged from among the glutinous rice circles. With countless fists covering armament Haki, they all hit the red-haired Shanks. And the red-haired Shanks just got caught in the flames. It's a short-lived stiff state, but since it is a battle between two people. He is also the second in command of the two four emperors. The redhead Shanks hasn't taken anything lightly. Because he knows that once he takes it lightly, he will instantly be seized of the opportunity. This led to the whole situation, because of him as the captain, an unfavorable situation. The redhead Shanks stared at all the attacks of Katakuri. Dodge from left to right, quickly and continuously dodging Katakuri's combo attacks. In this battle, it is not only Katakuri who has the observation Haki that predicts the future. Redhead Shanks also has observation Haki that predicts the future. Therefore, it is difficult for Katakuri to form the same crushing ending as before. In previous battles, Katakuri relied on its own powerful observation Haki. The opponent was completely crushed directly. As long as it is weaker than him, no matter how weak it is considered weak. Will also be crushed by Katakuri. This is the effect of the powerful observation Haki. However, such a horrible observation Haki meets a strong person of the same level. Or a more powerful enemy, it is basically difficult to play an important role again. However, the advantages of Katakuri are also obvious. It is the same or lower ranked, basically invincible. But now he is one of the strongest people facing the sea. Redhead Shanks escaped Katakuri's attack. Griffin squeezed in his backhand and swung a powerful flying slash. Observation Haki of Katakuri has foreseen the future and discovered that the red-haired Shanks will send out a powerful flying slash. Katakuri quickly made a defense. The first layer of defense acts on the ability of waxy fruit to form a protective wall. When the red-haired Shanks' flying slash broke through the protective wall of glutinous fruit ability. Katakuri is also ready. The whole body is glutinous, forming an elemental effect. Finally escaped the flying slash of the red-haired Shanks. The flying slash finally slashed towards the sea, and the entire sea surface was suddenly broken by this flying slash to break a gap of hundreds of meters. But, just after Katakuri thought he had successfully avoided the attack of the red-haired Shanks. In fact, the redhead Shanks also predicted Katakuri's prediction. The redhead Shanks has appeared in front of Katakuri. Wearing flip-flops with his right foot, kicked towards Katakuri. Katakuri raised his armament Haki to harden and block. It's a pity that the incident happened suddenly, even if Katakuri defended in time. Still kicked by the red-haired Shanks. Katakuri said with a cold scarf on his face, "Redhead Shanks, you are not easy. It deserves to be able to become a strong person at the same level as my mother." Katakuri can be regarded as complete, and he understands the strength of the red-haired Shanks. Very strong, very strong. Going alone, Katakuri thinks that he has no chance. After all, the strength of the redhead Shanks is real. "You retire obediently, maybe I will let you go," the red-haired Shanks said to his strength. As quite confident, it doesn't matter whether Katakuri recognizes his combat power or not. This red-haired Shanks does not matter. However, so far, the Big Mom Pirates and Beasts Pirates should be allowed to retreat as soon as possible. After all, the Whitebeard Pirates and Marines battle should not be too late. Just when Katakuri was about to go back, Yan Disaster Jin flew back angrily all the way and said, "Stop kidding. If it retreats, where does our Beasts Pirates face? Redhead Shanks, let's fight to the death. As the second in command of the Four Emperors group, I really need face." Shanks, who is really red-haired now, has two sentences and it makes sense. Then go back. Then why is he going to mess up? Whether he was misunderstood by that time, he was already dead. Or it should be said that Kaido is no longer good. Don't say that this kind of thing spreads. Governor Kaido will punish him, and he will not let him go. Katakuri and Yan Bingjin attacked at the same time. The sound of fighting was continuous. Even the red-haired Shanks' combat effectiveness belongs to the ceiling level. It is not so easy to defeat two top emperor mates quickly. The fighting on the other side was fierce. Jack the Drow and Cracker jointly attacked Beckman. One has thick skin and thick flesh, and one Devil Fruit has complicated abilities. Even if Beckman has the Emperor-level combat power, it is not easy to play. Other members of Beasts Pirates and Big Mom Pirates are also besieging other members of Red Hair Pirates. But it's weird. Even the combined personnel of Beasts Pirates and Big Mom Pirates. Compared with Red Hair Pirates, there are more and no advantage at the same time. Still slightly suppressed by Red Hair Pirates, but it is more evenly matched. Even Beasts Pirates and Big Mom Pirates, the two sides did not send out all the combat power. And Red Hair Pirates is all the power. The Beasts Pirates and Big Mom Pirates have already deployed more than 80% of their combat power. Exclude the two beasts Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. It can be seen how high the overall combat effectiveness of Red Hair Pirates is. But Katakuri didn't have the brainless plan to fight the red-haired Shanks all the time. In the end it will only outweigh the gains, fighting for so long. Katakuri discovered that the two teams on their side did not gain any advantage. There are also some weak disadvantages in 363, it can be said that it will become like this. Mainly because of the crew of Red Hair Pirates, each combat power is not too low. As for Beasts Pirates and Big Mom Pirates, there is a natural gap between the two sides. Fight for a while. Inflammation Cinder's thoughts are basically the same as those of Katakuri. You have to be prepared to decide depending on the situation. After all, it is beasts now. Governor Kaido is not there. He needs to make decisions personally in all matters. If you are here to fight red hair pirates directly, whether for beasts pirates or Big Mom pirates, there is no benefit. Will directly consume a lot of troops in vain. Even the 4 Emperors pirate group could not withstand such consumption. Shanks, the redhead, has no extra thoughts to fight Katakuri and the Scourge. After all, they met by chance on the sea, and fighting broke out. It's not that the two sides really have to start preparing for a force-to-force battle. But there is a little doubt. That's the red-haired Shanks wondering what the two beasts Kaido and Charlotte Linlin are doing. But Shanks himself, the redhead, also has a rough answer. It may be a sneak attack on naval headquarters, if it is to sneak attack on the battlefield on the side of the Whitebeard pirate group. It's impossible for Katakuri and Yan Bingjin to do that just now. The whole world is completely messed up. Redhead Shanks has a feeling of lack of energy. I want to maintain the balance of the whole world. It is simply difficult to do, especially Luo Tian, since he took over the Whitebeard pirates. The situation in the entire world is rapidly deteriorating. Even if there is a period of quiet in between, but afterwards, a more powerful battle erupted. The public execution of celestial dragons is not just that. The beasts Kaido and the Big Mom pirate group are all ready to move. This is where Shanks, the redhead, really worries the most. Chapter 169 Jack the Drow. Who do you think I am? Somewhere in the sea, Mihawk, the most powerful swordsman in the world, Haki. Riding in his own coffin ship, sailing on the sea. The destination, the battlefield of the Whitebeard pirates. Haki, who was constantly sailing, suddenly opened his eyes. Because he felt a lot of the breath of constant fighting with each other in the front. One of them was a breath he was particularly familiar with. That's the breath of red-haired Shanks. At this time, Mihawk, Haki, very confused? Who is Shanks fighting with? How could there be a war on the sea? It seems that I have to go over and take a look. There are some changes in things that he didn't even notice. It seems that the whole world is on the verge of explosion. Haki Mihawk is not concerned about the development of the situation even if it is normal. How much can still be guessed about the changes in the whole world situation? When Luo Tian started to execute celestial dragons publicly. It has already started. Just like what Luo Tian said during the war on the top. The biggest battle for pirate supremacy in history has begun. The winner will be at the top of the world. The red-haired Shanks in the midst of a fierce battle also have Katakuri and Yankee. None of the three of them noticed that someone was already approaching. Including Beckman versus Jack the Drow and Cracker. The battle has progressed to a very fierce level. Let them have no extra energy and be able to disperse to other places. But it was when they were fighting to the fiercest moment. Suddenly a huge cyan flying slash hit directly through the air. This shocked everyone. Fortunately, this attack was not aimed at anyone. Instead, it directly across the sea. In an instant, the sea surface was slashed by this cyan flying, cutting out traces of thousands of meters. The sea surface separated instantly. It took about 3 seconds to restore the original appearance. But the sea hasn't been calm for a long time. Redhead Shanks turned and looked. Mihawk? Seriously, the redhead Shanks himself didn't expect Haki Mihawk to come over. Even if I guessed it would come, I didn't expect to meet him. But it's okay since we met. Haki Mihawk still said calmly, Shanks, it seems you are still very leisurely. Here are fighting with beasts pirates and Big Mom pirates? But where is the captain of both of them? Why, now I see someone else's captain is not there, so I bullied someone else's crew. Haki Mihawk started to tease redhead Shanks, but for them. These are all taken for granted. Ha ha ha. The red-haired Shanks laughed straight back at Haki's words. But compared to red hair pirates, the situation is completely different for Kaido and the Big Mom pirates. 7 warlords of the sea, the world's most powerful swordsman, Haki Mihawk has a relationship with the redhead Shanks. They have also heard of these, see it here now. They are all alarm bells ringing. Katakuri and the flame embers quickly distanced themselves from the red-haired Shanks. At this time, Yan Calamity Jin whispered, Katakuri, it seems that we have to retreat. Otherwise I feel that things are in trouble. It was difficult to deal with red hair pirates by relying on us alone. If we add a Mihawk Haki, we will undoubtedly become very passive. Plus, it's still at sea here, we are all demon fruit power. I'm fine, everyone else, including you, will be in trouble. Although what Yan Calamity said is not so pleasant, but it is basically the same thing. Add an eagle-eyed Mihawk, then the whole situation will be reversed in an instant. In fact, Katakuri can understand this without having to say it. Fight with red hair pirates. It can't go on. Otherwise, they will be the one who has the unexpected situation, not red hair pirates. Although some troops have been lost now, these troops are all miscellaneous soldiers. There was no loss of key personnel, then it won't hurt the bones. Once key personnel sacrifices begin to occur, the nature is completely different. I know that. The people who organized this start to retreat. As for the war between the Whitebeard pirates and Marine, we no longer have the ability to intervene in the past. Unless you break the red hair pirates level. Katakuri has basically finished the analysis, how to solve it next. To continue the war between the Whitebeard pirates and Marine. This is no longer possible, now retreat is the only best way. Kata Curry said loudly, the Big Mom pirates, all members are preparing to retreat. Yan Calamity Cinder also said, Beasts pirates, everyone is also preparing to retreat. In fact, it's not just that Kata Cooley and Yan Katian don't want to fight anymore. Beasts pirates and the other members of the Big Mom pirates do not want to fight anymore. Because the situation has become unfavorable for them. Beckman lighted a cigarette and said mockingly, it seems that you still have self-knowledge. Jack the Drow and Cracker were very angry when they heard Beckman's ridicule. Cracker wanted to rush to kill Beckman, who killed Damn It right away. But Cracker finally resisted it, not so impulsive. Also know this moment can't be impulsive, otherwise it would be really bad. As for red hair pirates, I'll take care of this account afterwards. Different from Cracker. Jack the Drow, he doesn't have such a good temper. He roared directly. Who do you think I am? Beasts pirates obeyed, lean in on me. Jack the Drow is not afraid, what Redhead Shanks? What Beckman? Or Mahawk Hawkeye? He didn't pay attention to everything, just hit it directly. The people of Beasts pirates can't help but listen to Jack the Drow's orders. Because Jack the Drow is one of the 3 plagues of Beasts pirates. Belongs to senior cadres. The people of Beasts pirates also all took up their weapons, ready to start fighting again. However, Jack the Drow's move stunned too many people. I have seen an Ironhead and I have never seen such an Ironhead. Is this invisible to the situation or what? Can't you understand that the opponent's combat power has fully surpassed Beasts pirates? Beckman frowned. He really didn't expect that Jack the Drow would really dare. This was a little unexpected. I thought that the Beasts pirates and Big Mom pirate group were already preparing to retreat. Simple taunting twice. And this Jack the Drow is directly ready to start the fight again. But now that Jack the Drow is ready to do it again. Then Beckman didn't plan to accept it either. He took a deep breath and said coldly and slowly, since you want to die. Then I will fulfill you. Seriously, Beckman really hasn't been afraid of Beasts pirates. Even if Kaido of the Beasts came in person, Beckman dared to go up and challenge Kaido. Jack the Drow rushed straight up. I didn't think about the consequences at all. And looking at Jack the Drow, who is impulsive, Yanbanjan has a headache to death. This B**********D. It depends on the occasion. Just don't care about the 3721, just do it directly? Then you have to do it too. This Jack the Drow, it seems that he has to educate him well when he goes back. Beckman also rushed out quickly. Jack the Drow waved his fist with a violent breath. Like a beast. Beckman keeps accelerating to a certain extent. Kicked out sideways. Boom. Jack the Drow's fist and Beckman's kick immediately collided. Produce strong airwave fluctuations. Jack the Drow kept yelling, ah. Retreat to me. Beckman also burst out the power of his whole body. In the end, after a short competition, Beckman kicked Jack the Drow away. Jack the Drow was also beaten out by Beckman, eventually hit the deck. But within 3 seconds, Jack the Drow jumped out again. This time, Jack the Drow instantly turned devil fruit into a beast. The pain just now disappeared quickly. Asterisk. Damn it. B*********. D. Jack the Drow was completely angry, what a shame. In front of so many people, he was kicked out directly. He is Beasts pirates, one of the 3 dignified plagues, Jack the Drow. At this time, the flame embers flew in the form of a pterodactyl and flew to Jack the Drow's side. Hold Jack the Drow with one hand, then he said, calm down. Retreat first. There are more opportunities to fight in the future, you can fight with red hair pirates. If Jack the Drow is allowed to go on like this, a bigger war may break out. At that time their Beasts pirates would definitely lose sight. Even if the other pirate groups have losses, it will not allow Beasts pirates to lose huge amounts. But Jack the Drow was still very unconvinced, but being pressed by the flames, he slowly calmed down. Beasts pirates and Big Mom pirates. With the departure of the 2 parties, the red-haired Shanks did not let anyone stop them. Shanks, the redhead, never thought of continuing to expand the scale of the war. Maybe in the end some of his crew will be sacrificed. This is not what the redhead Shanks wants to see. So the redhead Shanks simply let go of Beasts pirates, mainly because of Jack the Drow. And Beckman, if there is no clear order from Captain Shanks. Nor will he pursue Jack the Drow without authorization. Hawkeye Mahawk came to the red-haired Shanks and asked, how did you fight Beasts pirates and Big Mom pirates? Although Hawkeye Mahawk is not interested in these. But still ask. The redhead Shanks didn't plan to hide Mahawk Hawkeye. He replied, I plan to go to the Whitebeard pirates and Marine battlefield. Good king, good, who knows, halfway through the Beasts pirates and Big Mom pirates, they met. What happened after that was a battle, until you come over. The redhead Shanks found a place to sit down, and after sitting down, Bian explained the cause of the matter to Mahawk. Then you are now ready to go to the battlefield between the Whitebeard pirates and Marine. Hawkeye Mahawk didn't turn his head, so he asked the redhead Shanks directly. Suddenly, the red-haired Shank's eyes became firm. Said, we must set off as soon as possible now. In terms of time, it is almost too late. Little ones, wait to get off at full speed. Ho 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 ho, it's the boss. All the red hair pirates roared in unison. Even if he had just experienced a battle, he was still very motivated. Even if they were allowed to fight one more time, there was no problem at all. Redhead Shanks also invited Haki Mahawk to start with them. Haki Mahawk did not refuse either. Now that they have already met, they simply set out to paddle together. In terms of time, it's already in a hurry. Maybe even red hair pirates, the ship is going at full speed. It's basically just right. As for whether celestial dragons will be executed successfully, they don't care at all. Chapter 170 Sengoku is killed. Luo Tian embraced his chest with both hands and looked at the entire battlefield plainly. No matter how the Whitebeard pirates are at a disadvantage. From beginning to end, Luo Tian was calm and calm. It seems that everything is under control. Didn't fail Luo Tian the same. People watching the battle from all over the world. I have already mentioned my heart to my throat. Is there not much time left before execution? Yes. Although Marine has a relatively large advantage now. But the Whitebeard pirates have always been stubbornly resisting. Look at Luo Tian, it's too calm. Of course it's calm. People are so powerful, how can they not be calm? The feeling Luo Tian gave them was quite intuitive. It is as if the Marine in front of me is not worth mentioning at all. The feeling that everything is under control. It seems that this time, maybe Marine will really be overshadowed by the Whitebeard pirates again. Or the Marine was defeated and the Whitebeard pirates were victorious. The younger brother of the Whitebeard pirate group ran to Luo Tian's side and said, Captain Luo Tian. Now there is the last half an hour before the execution. Celestial Dragons, who was kneeling on the chopping board, heard that there was only half an hour left to execute the execution and was frightened. Crying. Marine, come and save me, what are you guys doing? Hurry up and save me, I'm going to die, help. I don't want to die yet, I don't want to die. I am Celestial Dragons, a world nobleman, I can never die. Who can save Ben Sheng? Ben Sheng is willing to give a lot of Bailey. Celestial Dragons kept crying, begging Marine to save him quickly. He was so scared at this moment, the real is dying. He has had enough for this period of time, it's all inhuman torture. At the same time, the cry of Celestial Dragons, it really brought too much impact to the world. Is this still the usual Celestial Dragons? Unexpectedly, it would be like this. But I don't know why. 367 Seeing Celestial Dragons like this, many people in the world showed their happy eyes. It's too cool. This group of damn Celestial Dragons also have such a day. Marines, too dare not to speak. In fact, they all know that Celestial Dragons is a special group of damn it. But their task is to protect Celestial Dragons. Unlike ordinary Marine and Marine Admiral, they all know that the real mission this time is not to rescue Celestial Dragons. Instead, Luo Tian was killed, this is their main task. Otherwise, they should directly attack the execution platform with all their strength. Nor will he fight endlessly with the captain of the Whitebeard pirate group and the captain of the pirates. The purpose is to consume the Whitebeard pirates. Then they are directly concentrating all their strength to kill Luo Tian. Compare Celestial Dragons. Celestial Dragons is necessary, because Luo Tian's harm is too great. Of course, this kind of thing is not decided by their Marine. It was also negotiated with the world government 5 elders. 5 elders also agrees with this plan, because Luo Tian also brought tremendous pressure to the world government 5 elders. They also arranged the rescue of Celestial Dragons to the end. The main task is to kill Luo Tian. If 2 Admiral can't work, then 3 Admiral, and 3 can't work, then 4 Admiral level combat power. No matter what method is used, it is to kill Luo Tian. As for how Marine will sacrifice, at this point, the world government really doesn't worry much. As long as it is not a real injury, there are many ways in the world government to allow Marine to quickly regain strength. This is the confidence of the world government, just like this world conscription. Otherwise, the world government will have no choice, it will stand in the world for 800 years without failing. And Luo Tian standing on the execution platform. I don't understand the real meaning of Marine? It is nothing more than the target is him, but Luo Tian didn't really worry about this. 3 Admiral together? Luo Tian also has enough self-confidence to be able to be straightforward. It took half a year to train, but nothing was achieved. Even if there is no real improvement in strength. However, the use of the dual devil fruit ability has directly risen to a higher level. In the past, Luo Tian could only use thunder fruit ability or shock fruit ability alone. Even if it was that time killing a Kainu, it's just barely using the superposition of thunder fruit and shaking fruit. It was because of that power. Let Luo Tian get new inspiration. The cognition of the use of power has instantly improved several levels. But now Luo Tian didn't rush into action immediately. In fact, it was waiting for Marine to start the action first. As long as Marine changes the fighting style, the goal is shifted. Then Luo Tian doesn't care if he arrives at Celestial Dragon's execution time on time. He directly swung his sword at Celestial Dragons. Since Marine is not in a hurry, Luo Tian does not need to be in a hurry. Aokiji is constantly looking for and waiting for opportunities. The opponent is Luo Tian. You can't directly launch an impact blindly. If it doesn't work well, Luo Tian may be caught off guard. This is not what Aokiji wanted. In fact, at any moment, they can directly launch an attack on Luo Tian. But before he fully figured out Luo Tian's whole cards. If you attack rashly, The possible result was Luo Tian's counterattack, which caused Marine to suffer heavy losses. After all, they Marine before, but Luo Tian has already calculated it several times. To be honest, one loses and gains wisdom. Marine is not only Aokiji knows, Luo Tian is the kind that I don't know but is powerful. At the same time, strategic awareness is quite terrifying. Facing Luo Tian's thinking, Crane staff is also very alert to Luo Tian. As for why it is on guard, the staff of Crane is a person with a strong strategic layout. But what Luo Tian showed, made Crane's staff and Marine all have to be cautious. Naval Headquarters. Kizaru felt that everything that happened within this day was going to explode. I don't know what happened to 5 elders in Kong who went to chase the beasts Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. However, Kizaru does not think that just 2 5 elders and 1 Kong can pose a threat to Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. It's not that simple to be a 4 emperors, maybe it will come back without success in the end. Kizaru came to Sengoku and sat down. Now Sengoku is completely unconscious, not to mention, there are scars all over his body. In fact, Kizaru really did not expect Mr. Sengoku to have the form of a giant Buddha of Eudemons. Defense is also at the top level of the entire world. The result, ACCC, will eventually become like this. Looking at Dr. Marine, who was constantly busy, he continued desperately to speed up the treatment of Sengoku. Kizaru Admiral, we may be powerless. Inspector Sengoku was seriously injured. It's so serious that it's hard to recover even with a strong physique. Dr. Marine is distraught, this is the most difficult symptom they have encountered so far. Just when these Marine doctors reported the situation to Huang Yuan Admiral. Kizaru turned and looked outside, and outside at this time. A figure kept stepping on moonwalk all the way from the battlefield islands in the territory of the Whitebeard pirates, back to naval headquarters. There was no slowdown in the whole process. Garp is not tired or tired. Sengoku, Sengoku. Garp kept calling Sengoku's name all the way. When Garp fell on the ground of naval headquarters. A group of Marines salutes Garp quickly, Garp Vice Admiral. Garp Vice Admiral. Garp Vice Admiral. Garp didn't have time for them at this time. Now he most wants to know what is going on with Sengoku. Could something have happened? Go all the way quickly. Sengoku is unconscious and has serious injuries. This made Garp anxious. A whole Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. The old man can't spare you too. Garp is a strong man who has experienced many battles. At this moment, I can't see what Sengoku belongs to. The surface is covered with wounds, but the internal necrosis is almost completely dead. All vitality is also lost. Now there is still a weak breath left, which is entirely dependent on marine medical equipment. Otherwise, Sengoku has basically been able to declare his death. It will not support Garp back. Garp is now full of anger, wishing to kill Kaido and Charlotte Linlin immediately. I don't know what's going on. Does Sengoku really feel that Garp is back? Suddenly, it's the same, slowly opened his eyes. Garp gurgled. Sengoku. Sengoku opened his mouth, trying to say something. As a result, I couldn't say anything to my lips. The whole body has been beaten to pieces. Even if Garp and Kizaru keep using observation Haki to perceive. Still haven't heard what Sengoku said. It's not that Sengoku doesn't want to say anything. But it can't be said at all. For the first time, I accepted the combined skills of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. There have been serious injuries that time. It is because of the defense power of the form of a big Buddha that he can continue to fight. After that, they continued to fight, and it was still 1-on-2. The injury is getting worse and worse. In the end, Kaido and Charlotte Linlin used joint skills at Sengoku again. At that time, Sengoku was almost exhausted and the lamp was dead. Where can you withstand that kind of attack again? And that time, Kizaru just rushed back, but in the end it was still a step too late. It can be said that Sengoku has been able to fight continuously like this and is already very powerful. It was mainly defeated by the combined skills of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. Otherwise, Sengoku won't lose so quickly if he only hits 2. There is still no problem at all if I insist that world government or Kizaru and Garp come to support. It's a pity that there is no if. Less than half a minute later, Sengoku was completely killed. Before his death, Sengoku didn't know what strength he used. Said to lead a good marine, it's such a simple sentence. Sengoku was completely killed. Garp punched the wall next to him. The violent fist wind splashed around. It is conceivable that Garp really couldn't help killing Kaido and Charlotte Linlin at this moment. 5 elders and Kong 3 were on the fast round trip. At this moment Kong said worriedly, Sengoku may have an accident. In fact, at this moment Kong said so, the 5 elders can also understand. They saw Sengoku at that time. It has been confirmed that Sengoku is out of help. Before they also fought against the combined skills of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin. Know how terrible that trick is. Sengoku is alone. It is simply difficult to resist such an attack. Don't say it's difficult. It is basically impossible, because that kind of attack is terrible. There is no more than 2 people resisting together, it is impossible to stop it at all. 2 people resist together, there is still a big risk. Chapter 171 Holy Land War. But now they must hurry back to the Holy Land Marijoy. Because over there, my brother ordered the army to attack their world government. Where is the top priority of everything? There must not be any mistakes. If Marine has not won the victory against the Whitebeard pirates now, the world government was destroyed by the elder brother's army. As you can imagine, what will it evolve in the end? I can't imagine it at all. Because of that, it was horrible. In the whole world, it should not be said that the world government will lose true control over the world. How could 5 elders allow that kind of thing to happen? Anything can go wrong, and the world government must not go wrong. This is about face. The bald 5 elders said, Sora, the naval headquarters used to call Kizaru and Garp. Forget it, Garp, let him decide for himself, just call Kizaru. I see. Kong responded. Kong separates from the 2 5 elders. Kong returned to naval headquarters. Come to Kizaru and Garp's side. Kizaru, go to the Holy Land Marijoy with me now. Over there, the brothers' army is really launching an attack on the Holy Land Marijoy. There must be no accidents over there. Kong didn't say anything extra, so he directly called Kizaru and immediately returned to the holy place Marijoy. Can Kizaru refuse this kind of thing? Of course, he had to set off with Kong right away. Before, 5 elders asked Kong to call Garp together, but after coming over, Kong didn't call Garp together, because once served as the superior of Garp. Really come to understand what kind of character Garp is. So don't even think about it. Even if you call Garp, Garp will not go to the Holy Land Marijoy together. Since I can't call, I just stop calling, just call Kizaru. Finally Kong took Kizaru back to the Holy Land Marijoy. Holy Land Marijoy. The topography here, after Mori's investigation and exploration, the topography is basically clear. Although the Holy Land Marijoy is not guarded by Admiral of Headquarters, there are also many members of the CP organization that secretly maintain and protect the safety of celestial dragons. Soon, after Momoli explored the terrain, he returned to the same path and joined Sabo and others. In the rocky underground cave, the wall began to fluctuate up and down. Mori, who had a huge body, got out of it. Sabo and others saw Mori who went out to explore the terrain, after returning. Mori, how is it? Marijoy's terrain, has it been explored clearly? When Sabo saw Mori coming back, he asked with concern. The main thing is to understand the terrain here, and immediately start action. After all, Marijoy cannot waste too much time here. Otherwise, it will be difficult to deal with any unexpected situation. Then we are ready to act, now that we are all ready. Ivankov thought that since they have been found out, it would be better to act quickly. In places like Marijoy, the longer you stay, the less safe you are. Yeah, let's start to act, this time is a rare opportunity. Sabo also agrees very much. Ivankov's opinion is that if you can act as soon as possible, act as soon as possible. Mori told everyone about all the terrain and information that he had just discovered, including what needs attention there. In the end, Koala stayed as a liaison, on standby. Except for Koala, everyone else was dispatched. The goal of the gemming army hits the location of celestial dragons. First of all, Sabo started to move towards the goal all the way. In fact, what Brother Mingjun didn't know was that when they started to act, just by the world government, the CP personnel responsible for detecting enemy incursions, the CP with the special devil fruit ability has already passed on the intelligence of someone invading the Holy Land. The world government did not expect that some people would dare to raid and invade the Holy Land Marijoy during this period. After much deliberation, apart from the revolutionary army with this motive, other forces are basically unlikely. When Sabo burst into the home of a celestial dragons are still in their own home, unscrupulously bullying their slaves. You damn slave, hurry up and climb for this saint. Climbing so slowly, you are really a waste slave. If you don't give this saint, hurry up. Then this saint, put you to death as a damn slave, damn it. Celestial dragons were lashing with whips, the slave crawling on the ground. This slave crawling on the ground was once a well-known pirate in the world. Later, I went to the first half of the Grand Line and was defeated and became a loser. As a loser, I was sold by the winner in disguise. In this way, the pirate who has a bounty of more than 20 million became a slave of celestial dragons. When Sabo arrived at the celestial dragons accommodation, as a CP0 spy, the captain of the CPO also went to the residence of celestial dragons. Blocked the invading enemy. As soon as Sabo appeared, a spy man in a white suit and mask appeared. This person is World Government CP0 spy personnel, captain of CPO. Sabo was also stunned, special doubts at this moment. Whenever something went wrong, and why just acted, people from the World Government appeared immediately. Now that it was exposed, Sabo himself decided to choose to fight. We all met and exposed, it is impossible to choose to retreat. Even if it doesn't work, we must kill the spy CP0 of the World Government in front of us. In the past this time, the World Government will definitely take action. Captain CPO looked at the man in front of him and immediately knew his identity. Brother Mingjun, Chief of Staff, Sabo, that's right. But your revolutionary army is really brave, since I dare to invade the Holy Land Marijoy. Then be prepared to fail and kill. Dare to invade the Holy Land Marijoy. Today I will let you know how stupid this is. Captain CPO stood motionless, staring blankly at the Chief of the General Staff of the Brothers Life Army, Sabo, and said, "Your spies of the World Government are really crazy. But you might underestimate me. Our brother ordered the army to overthrow your World Government's rule that oppresses the people sooner or later. When Sabo heard the Captain CPO utter such a rant, it was a fire. Then wait a minute to make this dog look good at the low-lying guy. Let me see how much strength the Chief of General Staff of Brother Mingjun has. Captain CPO takes the lead in putting up a fighting pose. In order to be able to enter the battle state as soon as possible. Sabo is also in a combat mode. The two began to confront each other. At the same time, the momentum is constantly rising. Sabo is also full of confidence in his own strength, thinking that he is just a spy for the world government. It is impossible to be his opponent at all. Then let this guy have fun first. After killing him, he rushed directly into the settlement of celestial dragons. Sabo took the lead in getting started, directly used the signature signs, Dragon Claw Hand. Dragon Claw Hand. Divide the 5 fingers of your right hand into 3 sections and gather them together to form a dragon's claws. With a predominant force, he went straight to the captain of the CPO. In the middle of the violent wind, bursts of wind spread to the surroundings. Take it to death. The running dog of the world government, try my trick. Sabo used all his strength from the beginning, so that he could kill the spy in an instant with a single blow. 0. For flowers. In the sacred place Marijoy, this kind of place simply cannot waste too much time. Otherwise, the support of the world government will be wave after wave, and it will never end. What's more, now that it has been exposed, it is even more impossible to delay time. A quick fight. Captain CPO, watching the attack with fierce momentum in front of him. He is constantly assaulting towards Lu Qi himself. The CPO captain jumped up, and Marine 6 styles burst out directly. Shave, Moonwalk, Tempest Kick. A shaving rushed in, Moonwalk took off. In midair, directly throw out the 6 Tempest Kick. A huge wind blade like lightning blew towards Sabo. Boom. Sabo's Dragon Claw Hand and CPO captain's Marine 6 styles Tempest Kick collide with a strong rumbling sound. The huge movement too, instantly attracted the attention of nearby celestial dragons. Under normal circumstances, the residents of the Holy Land Marijoy celestial dragons is very quiet. Celestial dragons in the castle, after hearing the explosion, they kept exclaiming what's going on. Damn it, it's so noisy outside, Ben Sheng is in a bad mood. And you damn slave, go to this saint to die, boom. Boom. Celestial dragons picked up the pistol on his body and fired 2 consecutive shots at the slave in front of him. What? The slaves on the ground were instantly killed by celestial dragons. Thumping fell to the ground. Celestial dragons also left immediately. If you want to go out and see who it is, then you dare to make such a big noise next to his residence. At that time, you must double to kill him and turn him into a slave. As the great celestial dragons, he is not allowed to be disturbed by anything or life. Celestial dragons strode directly and kept walking out. Not only this place is the only place, turmoil has also begun to occur in other places. There are riots of varying degrees in various places, which are constantly happening. There are also some slaves, and they start to wait for the flight, but more slaves are at a loss. Sabo and Rob Lucci fought and continued. The entire Marijoy Guard force is also going everywhere to suppress the riots. Hurry up, act quickly, someone invaded the Holy Land Marijoy. Don't let celestial dragons get hurt or be disturbed a little bit. The guards of the Holy Land also kept moving quickly. For fear that the celestial dragons will be blamed, then they who act as guards. It will suffer immediately, then you can only save it now, and save it now. The other 3-5 elders, all sitting together in the office conference hall, watched the chaos behind the window. It seems that the brother ordered the army to act. Long this guy, the brother's life army led by choosing to invade the Holy Land when Marine strength is weakest. Then you can't easily let them go. One of the 5 elders, Keiichi Sonobu, sat on the sofa and tapped his fingers on the table. The 2 of them are already on their way back, and Kong also led Kizaru on the way. This time wiped out all the brothers' life army in one fell swoop. Another 5 elders also expressed his own point of view. After all, Marine is the strongest military agency under the world government. To this kind of invaded Holy Land Marijoy also requires Marine to be at the forefront. As 5 elders, they have a lofty status and it is impossible for them to take the lead in everything. But I still can't let the brothers' army cause too much damage to the Holy Land Marijoy. The last 5 elders spoke. Chapter 172 Sabo injured. At the same time the Holy Land Marijoy. The battle here has been fierce. The high-end combat power of Jie Mingjun began to continuously invest in it. The world government will also send out all the combat power that can be sent out to resist the Gemming army. At the same time, Kong and Kizaru, who rushed over from naval headquarters, also went to the Holy Land Marijoy to support. The same is true of the staying Marines in the Holy Land. Otherwise, relying solely on the strength of the CP and the garrison, it would be difficult to resist the continuous investment of the Gemming army. So now the 2 combat powers of Kong and Kizaru are particularly important. Although Kong is already a veteran, but a combat power still exists. At least it still maintains Admiral-level combat effectiveness. Only Admiral-level combat power can suppress all resistance forces. At this point, the world government has done particularly well. The combat effectiveness of the Admiral level has not really been reduced. Both maintain enough power to suppress the sea. But this time is special, because most of Marine's combat power has been mobilized to the battlefield on the side of the Whitebeard pirates. There is no way but to send out the retired veterans. At the same time, it is also hoped that the battle will end as soon as possible. After all, it's not good to keep fighting in the Holy Land Marijoy. Somewhere, the leader of the Gemming Army, Dorag, was also heading to the Holy Land Marijoy. After all, the war is constantly escalating. Just in case, Dorag planned to go over and hide in the dark to observe. More, 367. Rager knows himself, once he appears, then he will become the world government. The target of concentrated firepower. Although you are not afraid, you can hide as much as you can. The time for the current brother Mingjun is not very ripe yet. On the other side, the Holy Land Marijoy, both Kizaru and Kong arrived on the battlefield. Kong went directly to the brother Mingjun. Sabo, Kizaru went to deal with the brother Mingjun, the captains. The front is straight away. The battle between Sabo and Captain CPO. Basically, Sabo has a weak upper hand, but it can't be done, it's a crushing posture. Even now Sabo's combat effectiveness is already very strong. The combat power has reached the combat power of the Emperor's deputy. But after all, it's not really the old top Emperor's combat power. If the veteran top Emperor's combat power comes to the battle, the CPO captain may lose even faster. Until now, Sabo was anxious. On the contrary, the captain of the CPO is relatively stable. After all, there must be support from the back. So there is nothing to worry about, just try to hold it back. Brother Mingjun, Mr. Sabo, it seems that you are starting to be anxious. But even if you are in a hurry, it is not so easy to beat me. Captain CPO tried his best to block Sabo's Dragonclaw hand once again. Said with a mockery of Sabo, "Don't forget about it, Celestial Dragon's lackey. Don't blame me, I will kill you in an instant." Sabo also replied unceremoniously, and shot back. This kind of running dog of Celestial Dragons, there is no need to be polite at all. Brother Mingjun, Sabo, do you think I have come here for nothing? I'm doing crazy training every day, just to be the strongest guard of Celestial Dragons one day. And that Luo Tian, even if he didn't die this time, I will kill him in the future, the captain of the CPO also said angrily. Joined the world government since childhood, it has always been emphasized that their greatest value is the god who guards this world. That is Celestial Dragons. Now on the other side, Luo Tian, the pirate of Dammit. Jingren dared to openly execute Celestial Dragons publicly. If it weren't for no chance, he would want to kill directly. Dare to do something against the world's noble Celestial Dragons? CP0, I think you are floating. Should I praise you? It's really big-hearted. You Marine Admiral, dare not face that man alone. You dare to say such things? I really don't know, who gave you the courage? So I don't know how high the sky is, today Sabo will kill you. Otherwise, it won't be justified. Sabo was also shocked by the CPO captain. Say what? I will face that man in the future, Luo Tian. Now the whole world knows that is the true ceiling of top combat power. In fact, everyone who really understands knows that the title of the world's strongest man is Luo Tian's. Luo Tian is recognized as the strongest man in New World. Some people call Luo Tian the king of the world, it's just that it hasn't spread out yet. However, people from various forces have already budgeted for the difference. Once Luo Tian had the title of the strongest man in the world, he successfully executed Celestial Dragons. No one knows how terrifying the prestige will be at that time. But one thing is certain. The future era will belong to Luo Tian. Fortunately, my brother ordered the army to be against Luo Tian. In fact, in the elder brother's army, no matter who it is, they don't want to be opposed to Luo Tian. Even the leader Long has this idea, don't want to offend a beast that has already risen. Since I can't provoke it, then ignore the other party. It's good to do things well for brother Mingjun, and the goal is world government. Everything else is useless. The world government is the overlord of the times, and the pirates are just cross-street rats. I have always believed in dark justice, the CPO captain roared loudly. Otherwise, how could world government have been ruling the world for 800 years? Just a pirate force? World government, if all forces are deployed. I want to eliminate the pirate force, but it's only a matter of minutes. Sabo looked at the CPO captain in front of him and started to go crazy. Nothing more than pipe, now is to try to kill each other is. Kong running all the way over. Jump leaps fell on the battlefield where the Captain Sabo and CPO. They both turned around to look in the eyes of the old man. CPO captain fortunately, though surprised, but not much fluctuations. Sabo other hand, is not the same. Kong do? It's time trouble, the former marine vertex of the man. It seems to find ways to get out of. At the same time we face a CPO and marine Zongshui. There are no odds a little, this time Sabo, also helpless. How to play? CPO alone against a captain would cost a lot of effort. Now again a marine Zongshui Kong. It might have been left in the Holy Land Marijoy. Brother ordered army, staff, Sabo is not it, you really audacious military life brother necessarily dared to invade the Holy Land Marijoy. Duo Lage and world government now wanted to go to war it? Then you this kid, will you let me stay here better? Kong staring Sabo, began to stop talking. Colombian army ordered dare choose at this time the invasion of the Holy Land Marijoy. I guess it is because a large number of marine troops went to the Whitebeard pirates. So dare to invade. Hey, Mr. Kong, our brother ordered the military will not trouble you bother. But I want to stay, or do not think about. Sabo also feel that now things have become particularly tricky. I can only think of ways to get out of his mouth at the same time. The body nerves began to mobilize. Ready to evacuate out of breath. Kong not to seize the opportunity. Kong is a battle-hardened veteran, how could not find the Brother Lives Army, Sabo's actions intention. So I flew into the state of war. Kong's body began to open muscle contraction. At the same time the body also exudes a striking force of oppression. Little devil, came here today necessarily, do not try to escape out. The Marine 6 styles maximize strength, spoke and said massive. Sabo also was shocked too? This momentum so strong? Real or fake? I did not expect this so powerful Kong. Really trouble I did not expect strong momentum in this way. Regardless, the first retreat say. Sabo immediately began to retreat out quickly. Kong plays a more calm Quan shock. Sabo aligned with a strong impact on the direct impact of the past. Sabo closer look at the impact of the eye is also a shrink. Armament Haki to harden, to live defense bump. Boom. Everything within the scope of the instant impact crushing. Violent blast swept. CPO captain also was to give this unit a hurricane, blowing full blast ringing clothes. Some eyes are rolling into. Good strong I never thought Kong can maintain such a strong fighting force. CPO captain is also surprised. I did not expect Kong's strength, but also so powerful. The Marine Admiral, Marshal, Zongshuai not a simple one. Although so old, so fighting is still terror, this is the most horrible. Sabo is desperate to block the impact of the attack Kong. But in the end block, could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. Damn it. Force so powerful. I feel like the face of Mr. Long is the same. Damn, we must get out as soon as possible. Sabo hard roll out the impact of the attack range. Rub a bit of fresh mouth I looked at the hands of the blood. Really in trouble, so what, it hurt. He stood up, once again firmly fixed Kong. No way, Kong has put Sabo locked himself lived, it seems to think way. CPO captain also see that this is an opportunity 2.2. One can have this opportunity to get rid of Colombia ordered the military second in command. This is a rare opportunity. It seems to have sought opportunity to attack the Colombian army life, Sabo up. CPO captain began to calculate how to maximize the attack to the Colombian military life, staff. This would have been the fastest speed, get rid of him. Now brother ordered the military invasion of the Holy Land Marijoy. It has been for some time, it cannot be delayed too much time. Otherwise celestial dragons but to find a starting trouble. Even as CPO, he is very troublesome, so you can only choose the quick fix. Attack is also an option. 5 elders waiting duo Lage appear. As long as they're marine of people, over the past repression on the line. Kazaru here, and there are Crows Murray et al., also expanded rapidly confrontation. Celestial dragons, continue to be the guard who brought refuge. Damn it. Along the way celestial dragons are foul-mouthed. Although foul-mouthed, in fact, worried about his little life. Just outside of battle now, they have been spread to, will die. They are not all fools. Chapter 173 Holy Land Marijoy Melee. Today, you don't want to leave the Holy Land Marijoy. You all have to stay here today and stand trial. Kong looked at Sabo who had been beaten and bleed, and said with a low voice. Whether it is tactically or psychologically, we must suppress this Sabo. This way you can win faster. Otherwise, the combat power of this guy is also not low. Including their leader, Dorag Dragon, has not yet appeared. Dragon, Kong also know very well. As the son of Garp, his combat effectiveness is also ranked top in the ocean. Then the battle power under the dragon's hand is second only to the dragon's own combat power. This person Sabo, it is certainly not a simple character. So Kong, the same as a two-pronged approach, physically or psychologically. Suppress it directly, you will be able to win sooner. As a marine for a lifetime, all the way to the present. Also understand the use of various tactics. Sabo looks very gloomy. It's too strong to fight at all. Sabo did not expect that Mr. Long was such a powerful person. Since the aura of Kong in front of him can be as strong as Mr. Long. It's really troublesome, but there is also a little advantage, maybe Kong's physical strength has declined. However, this kind of C-top combat power, even if physical strength drops, is equally terrifying. This Kong is a strong individual, even if he is old, he will not be really bad physically. It's so bad that it can't be worse. Kong, don't look down on people. I'm not a dentist, you can clean it up if you want to. Similarly you can't keep us, let alone me, Sabo said loudly and forcefully. Don't be ashamed of talking, my brother ordered the army, do you dare to go against the world government? The world government is a real giant that has ruled the world for 800 years. It can't be overthrown by a trivial brother ordering an army. Captain CPO heard Sabo's words and immediately began to counterattack and speak. Don't say brother Mingjun, even if it is the Sea Overlord O2 pirates of New World. The world government is also not looking at it. Because the world government can rule for 800 years, it definitely makes sense. These mere storms must have gone through a lot in the past 800 years. The CPO captain said confidently. Relatively speaking, Kong knows the situation better than the captain of the CPO. So I didn't say much, but there is one thing, the captain of CPO is wrong. This era is the biggest impact in 800 years. There were large evil forces in the past, but they did not pose a threat to the world government. There are also one or two. I don't think about it now, it's really blooming. All kinds of top forces are complicated. It's too chaotic. Once turmoil occurs, it will directly impact the status of the world government. For the captain of the CPO, there is no clear understanding of Kong. Even 40 years ago, the darkest era, the Rocks era. But also Rocks as the leader, followed by Roger Pirates. If you rely solely on Marine's strength, there will definitely be huge casualties. Still teamed up with the Roger Pirates. Roger and Garp defeated Rocks together again, which ended that era. The subsequent era cannot be regarded as Roger's era. The following 10 years will be an era of triumphant forces. Roger Pirates, Whitebeard Pirates, Golden Lion Pirates. These three pirate groups were the leaders of that era. After that is the big change. Roger became one piece and turned himself in again. Golden Lion invaded naval headquarters alone, and was sent to impel down by Sengoku himself and Garp after a fierce battle. If Golden Lion leads the big fleet to attack naval headquarters, it will also be a huge trouble. After that, the two overlords ended. In the following years, the Ant became the overlord, Kaido was also followed by the overlord, and finally Shanks. It is Luo Tian now. The most important thing is that these monsters are under the hands of a large number of people, which is the most worrying. At the same time, there are the Brother Ming army and underground forces, which are intricately related. This era is the most difficult era facing the world government. But Kong also believes in Aokiji's ability, and he can definitely handle them one by one. Boom. The explosion of battle continued to spread. Looking at Kong's burly body, Sabo was also a little helpless. As a body-type person, they are better at close combat. But a strong like Kong, Sabo is somewhat passive. If you fight one-on-one with Kong alone, Sabo felt he could still fight. But there is also a CPO captain watching him, it seems a little passive. The CPO captain saw the opportunity. Immediately after Sabo and Kong attacked and collided, they rushed in. 6-style finger pistol. The CPO captain appeared on the side of Sabo and issued a 6-shot finger pistol. With the sound of breaking the wind, the 6-style finger pistol shot at Sabo at a very fast speed. During the attack, the CPO captain showed a slight smile. This is just before the attack, showing a triumphant smile. Damn it. Since the attack, it really deserves to be a CPO, Celestial Dragon's lackey. Sabo watched the attack of Captain CPO and kept getting closer to himself. Although very troublesome, but you can't shrink back because of trouble. Raise his left hand, armament Haki hardened when 6-style finger pistol hit Sabo's arm, there was a noise. Cut. The CPO captain saw this and made a cut too. Since there was no real sneak attack, an opportunity was wasted. On the other hand, Sabo's face became a little heavy. Kong also saw an opportunity. At this time, it was the jam time of the brothers' life army Sabo. As long as you seize the opportunity, you can directly hit this guy. Leaping high. Kong shock. The right hand gathers a powerful force. Send out a powerful shock. Damn it, come again. There is no way, we can't save the use of armament Haki. The whole armament Haki hardens. Sabo knows that he can't use the armed color too sparingly. If it's not good, it will cause problems, facing a CPO captain whose strength is a little lower than himself. Face another Kong who is stronger than him, the pressure is too great. Boom, damn it, this shock. Stick to me. Sabo held his head with both hands and squatted in a defensive posture. Fully resist Kong's shock attack, but it's too difficult. This force really cannot be withstood by ordinary people. This guy. See how long you can hold on, retreat to the old man. Drink. Kong exploded with all his strength, Kong shocked to the maximum power. Strive to take this person with one blow, beat Sabo down. Stop looking down on people, Kong. Sabo also refuses to admit defeat, after a stalemate for nearly half a minute or so. Sabo was knocked out, after rolling many laps on the ground, it stopped. Sabo looked at Kong solemnly, and the CPO captain on the other side. Get out as soon as possible. Among them, the captain of CPO rushed forward again and rushed to Sabo. Moonwalk. 6 Tempest Kick. After Captain CPO used Moonwalk to take off and rush in. At a distance of less than 30 meters from Sabo, he directly raised his right foot and played a 6-style Tempest Kick. The whistling wind cut through the air, forming a huge wind blade. Sabo was still in the moment just to stabilize his body. Have not adjusted the state, we must face the powerful attack of Captain CPO again. Watching the approaching attack, Sabo made a strong sigh. Dragon Claw Hand. After Sabo's right hand turned into a dragon's hand, armament Haki hardened. No way. Sabo can only counterattack with the strongest offensive tactics. Because of the current state, with some other tricks, it is impossible to stop the Captain CPO's attack. Bang. Sabo's Dragon Claw hand grasps the 6 Tempest Kick wind blade. Grab the broken wind blade with all your strength. The powerful storm rang. The airwave of Tempest Kick continued to expand outward. But while smashing the Tempest Kick wind blade, Sabo was also forced to be helpless and kept backing more than 10 meters again. Even if it is stronger than the CPO captain in terms of combat power, but in this passive defense state. It's simply because there is more than enough energy but not enough energy. Sabo's whole person also began to breathe faster, indicating that his physical strength had begun to be greatly consumed. Kong saw another great opportunity and unceremoniously aimed at Sabo to attack again. Kong shock. This time Kong expanded the attack range of the impact a bit. The purpose is to prevent Sabo from leaving the attack range again. Even if the power drops a little bit, but it is irrelevant, as long as it hits. At the same time as the hit, just bring damage to this Sabo. 6. This time Sabo really began to become more and more passive. Armament Haki defense was used, but the defense was not in place without blind spots in all directions. After being hit by Kong's Kong shock, it even spit out blood. Damn it. Kong. You be ******** D. Sabo stared sharply at Kong, his eyes furious. This blow really brought Sabo no small damage. Now I feel sore all over my body. It can't be dragged on anymore, there is no way to get out. After really resisting one person, the other one attacked and arrived. If you evacuated directly, we are about to be left to the enemy by the weakness behind it. In that case, if one is not careful, there will be serious injuries immediately. For so long, I can only look for opportunities in the middle. At that time, Mr. Long, he should have supported him, so he can get rid of this dangerous situation now. Calculating the time, Mr. Long is almost here. Then maybe there is a chance to start a counterattack. Especially the captain of this CPO, it really makes Sabo feel so uncomfortable. I'm going to kill this guy later. These lackeys of celestial dragons are simply guilty of death. Help celestial dragons to do evil. Staying in the world is a great evil. It should be dealt with as soon as possible, so seizing the opportunity is particularly important. If it is Mr. Long, if the support is too late, then Sabo feels that there will be danger. The current method is to try to hold these two guys. Hold it up and hold it until Mr. Long supports him. Kong see here, doesn't feel right, it's very strange. Normally, this person is Sabo. Opposite this situation, you should be more nervous. But suddenly now it's quiet, the whole person began to calm down. This is a problem. At this time, there is no room for accidents at all. So Kong also began to think about where the problem occurred. This person can have such a calm 367 situation, probably it is nothing more than those kinds of situations. Oh no, the CPO over there, quickly cooperate with the old man and get rid of this person quickly. If I guess right, this guy is waiting for their leader, Dorag Dragon, to support him. As soon as the other party supports it, things start to get bad. The favorable side begins to become passive. Kong thought of the one with the greatest possibility. That is Dorag Dragon, who will come to the Holy Land Marijoy. Then the man came over one by one, although I have never seen dragons really fight. But the fighting power is definitely the top level of the sea. In order to prevent accidents, just order CPO to cooperate with yourself. Get rid of this Sabo quickly. The captain of the CPO also reacted. Kong's analysis is certainly correct. Because Brother Mingjun still has the leader dragon, he didn't come. In case the other party comes over, then it is a favorable situation for the world government. It will immediately become passive, received, then cooperate and kill him quickly. Captain CPO also answered blankly. Sabo didn't expect that this Kong has such a clever mind. Judging the situation on his side immediately, you really deserve to be the man who is Marine's commander-in-chief. It's really impossible for any flaws. Once he was noticed, he became passive. This time Captain Kong and CPO act at the same time. Sabo's eyes are very solemn. Even so, don't think of defeating me easily. Sabo is also not afraid of anything, no big deal. Isn't it just a general manager Kong and CPO? He is the second in command of the brothers' army. How can I lose my momentum? At this time, we must face the difficulties even more. The explosion sound, keep making noises continuously. Sabo is constantly falling under the wind. The degree of injury also began to deepen. There is mainly Kong, this copper wall and iron wall are difficult to break through. Sabo's breathing was already gasping, too tired. Also thought of a question. That is Marine and world government, not to say that someone has the most powerful people. But too much top ceiling combat power, so many ceiling forces are combined together. It's really hard to be shaken. Sabo has to admit this too. However, no matter how difficult it is, the world government must be defeated. Chapter 174 Hurricane Dorag Dragon. Dorag Dragon also came to the Holy Land Marijoy through several ways. Through some means, Long also learned that 5 elders and others have returned to the Holy Land Marijoy. So the dragon is also more worried, his subordinates are here, the holy place Marijoy. What will happen unexpectedly? After all, they're their backbone, and they certainly can't be lost just like that. In that case, it will bring them great casualties. In terms of overall combat power, it will drop a lot. Dorag Dragon crossed layers of obstacles in the Holy Land Marijoy. From far away, the sound of fighting has already begun to be faintly heard. Long didn't need to think about it, but also knew that it must be his subordinates who were fighting with the world government and marine personnel. Must arrive as soon as possible. The dragon turned into a breeze and kept passing through it. Doragron's devil fruit ability is also one of the 3 natural disasters. Earthquake, magma, storm fruit ability in the middle. Sabo on the battlefield is already covered in cuts and bruises. But I persisted hard. While confronting Kong head-on, it is also necessary to prevent a sneak attack by the captain of the CPO behind him. I was so tired, I was able to persist. It was also because of Sabo's perseverance that was amazing. If there is a little slack, immediately, all previous efforts will be lost. The CPO captain also became the way to start fighting with Kong. Everyone will pick an opportunity from the middle to carry out a sneak attack. The purpose is to prevent Sabo from escaping, but also to bring harm to Sabo. Now it is clear that this strategy is still particularly successful. In such a short time, this Sabo was seriously injured. Looking at the current situation, this Sabo has not been able to hold on for long. Kong also attacked Sabo mercilessly throughout. Organizations like this kind of anti-world government simply cannot stay. It must be destroyed, otherwise the world will become more turbulent. Although both world government and naval headquarters are powerful. But outside, some forces have intricate relationships. At the same time, there are many powerful enemies. As many factors of instability can be solved, as many factors of instability can be solved. In this kind of thing, you must never be merciful. Kong intends to make another big move and try to kill Sabo in one blow. At least Sabo has to be seriously injured. Kong shocked. Kong began to condense armament Haki energy in his hands, a powerful impact punch. With a huge pressure, it continues to spread to Sabo. Sabo's left hand was protecting the wound on his right hand, and he gasped for breath. His face was particularly solemn. It is too difficult to file this attack. Suddenly at this moment, a huge storm blew over, collided with Kong's Kong impact. There was a huge explosion. Boom! The violent explosion and the blowing hurricane continued to spread to the surroundings. Wherever the hurricane passed, the surrounding houses appeared, cracking to varying degrees. Crushed stone tiles are flying everywhere. It is conceivable how powerful the waves of air caused by this collision are. Kong, Captain CPO, and Sabo are all very surprised. Sabo himself thought it was going to be over, but he didn't expect that at the moment of this daughter's hair. The meeting will turn round and round, and there will be a turning point. At the same time, seeing this attack method, I immediately thought. It was their leader, Mr. Long. Except for Mr. Long, there was basically no one else. This storm-like attack method is the unique attack method of Mr. Long. Seeing this situation, Sabo also smiled. Mr. Long finally came. Then things will turn for the better. After all, Mr. Long is very powerful. The arrival of the dragon also gave Sabo very strong confidence. But it is Kong who feels different from Sabo. Who is it? Are there any other hidden personnel? Damn it, since I haven't found it. No matter who it is, since you have come to the Holy Land Marijoy, don't even think about going out. Kong is very angry now. At this critical moment, the attack was interrupted, and the opportunity to kill Sabo was directly lost. So now, no matter who it is, Kong has to destroy the other party in order to relieve his hatred. But thinking of just now, how to resist Kong's impact. Let Kong begin to have to doubt a person that is only Dorag Long. If it's a dragon, that's a problem, so he shouted. Is it you, Dorag Long? Kong used a loud voice to pass it on. Captain CPO was also particularly shocked. What Kong said, Dorag Long. That, Dorag, Dragon, all came to the Holy Land Marijoy. Unexpectedly, it was the man who came over. The CPO captain is also very solemn. After all, if it was really Doragran, then this character would be very dangerous. Dorag has always been the #1 enemy of the world government. Like other pirate forces, they are king in New World. And their nature is completely different. It is really organized to overthrow the organizational power of the world government. For such a dangerous organization, the world government has to take it seriously. The CPO captain also started, desperately trying to find a way, see if there is any way. It can break the game, otherwise it will be really troublesome. Dorag Longdu arrived directly at the Holy Land Marijoy. It simply can't tolerate the other party's nonsense. When the other party moved, it was a great upheaval in the world government. A refreshing breeze is blowing, finally came to Sabo's side. The dragon that fell by Sabo's side looked at the injury on Sabo's body. The injury looks very serious, but I also understand that one person has to deal with a CPO and there is also a marine commander. With this lineup, Sabo can still hold on to the present, which is very difficult. So there is no too much questioning process, just say. Sabo, are you all right? The dragon under a black robe cared about Sabo's injury and asked. Sabo was also very happy when he heard Dragon's concern. After all, it was his own leader who came to save himself personally. Before, there was really no way. While facing Kong, he also had to face various road closures and sneak attacks by Captain CPO. It's too uncomfortable. If you want to escape, you can't escape. You want to head, but you can't beat it. You can only defend passively all the time and get beaten. If Mr. Long did not show up, Sabo has to doubt himself. Whether he can finally get out of the Holy Land Marijoy is a question. But now his leader Dragon is here, so it's different. Kong stared at the black-robed man who suddenly appeared in front of him. There are also faintly visible tattoos on his face. Both are explaining that the man who appeared in front of him was Dorag Long. It's really you, Dorag Munkid. That be ******* D son of Garp. Dorag Long, dare to come directly to the Holy Land Marijoy. I'm really not afraid of death. Don't know this is the Holy Land Marijoy? Dare to come here, and I will wipe out you all in one breath today. Kong feels that this is an opportunity, a very rare opportunity. Now most of their high-end combat power has come to Marijoy. Come along with the leader. Seize this opportunity, maybe you can get rid of them in one fell swoop. Kong, I haven't seen you in nearly 20 years, you are getting older a lot. However, don't say anything big, you won't be able to keep us today. Dorag Dragon used to stay at Marine in the past, so for Kong, there is quite a bit of understanding. At the same time, I also know that the old Kong in front of him must have maintained a very high level of strength. But what Kong said, keep them. Regarding this dragon, he didn't believe it at all. Dorag Long had already planned to retreat. Seeing no results so far, Marijoy, in a real sense, will open a breakthrough. Then wait for future opportunities. Anyway, so many years have come. There is no difference in time. The goal from beginning to end is to eliminate the world government and establish a new regime. In this case, it is even more impatient, step by step. Long also believes that there will be no chance in the future. As long as the timing is right, they will attack again. Only eliminated, these celestial dragons, the world will lead to real life and work in peace and contentment. No longer will be squeezed by the world government. The current two sides have become 2 on 2. Doragran and Sabo stand together, and on the other side Kong stands with Captain CPO. The 4 of them are more embarrassed for Sabo, scarred. However, he hasn't completely lost his fighting ability and he can barely fight. But if there is a protracted war, it will be very dangerous. For this, Sabo knows it himself. The dragon next to him is equally clear, so in addition to Sabo, Long also intends to start retreating. Sabo, you are ready. I will hold Kong and the CPO, and then you will retreat directly. Meet our other personnel, and then you can retreat first. Don't wait for me, they can't keep me here. Long thinks of Sabo's state, it's useless to stay here. After all, the injury is quite serious, so I simply arranged for Sabo to retreat. Then the dragon stayed by himself. This is even more secure. I see, Mr. Long, be careful. Sabo didn't worry at all about his leader dragon, any accidents would happen. But I will also care a little bit. Whether it is the identity of the leader, the identity of a companion, or the identity of an elder. The care that it deserves is all necessary. Long also responded with a relieved look in Sabo. Then Sabo moved away and started to move out little by little. Suddenly Sabo accelerated and ran to one place quickly. On the other side, Kong and Captain CPO saw that Sabo was about to run away. The two looked at each other and both understood. Kong means to let the captain of the CPO go to block Sabo's departure. The captain of the CPO also understood. Kong meant to let him go to intercept Sabo. In this situation where we all know each other well, the CPO captain also started the action immediately. Don't want to escape, leave me at the Holy Land Marijoy today. Are you all useless? If you know you can't beat it, just run? The captain of the CPO roared, and at the same time he used the method of violent tactics. In order to let Sabo stay and fight alone. While fighting alone, it is also to solve this Sabo. It's a pity that Captain CPO made a mistake. Sabo, they are all strictly trained. The will in this regard is very firm, it can't be shaken by a few words at all. What's more, Sabo didn't mean to look back at all, he just ran forward all the time. The CPO captain was even more surprised. Such words can't treat this Sabo, even if there is no fluctuation at all? I'm not surprised, it's fake. Damn it, don't even try to run away. Captain CPO bit his angry teeth and ran after him. Moonwalk. Use moonwalk to jump forward in the air. Kong looked at Dorag Long and said slowly, you led the Mingjun army very well, Long. This performance alone shows a lot of problems. It can be seen that their cohesion is still very strong. Especially this kind of firm will is even more terrifying. This kind of power is often the ability to see the power of an organization. Thanks for the compliment, Kong, but does that hairy boy over there want to intercept people from me? Stormstream. Long does not fluctuate much with Kong's words. This kind of thing is for sure, they have brought it out step by step. In addition, this CPO, from his hands, intercept his men? Isn't it too arrogant? Then teach him a profound lesson? The dragon's body began to draw violent winds continuously. A wall of wind is formed in an instant. Like a tornado, it blows towards Captain CPO. Kong thought of stopping, but it was too late. The attack speed of the hurricane fruit ability is also quite astonishing. Especially this sudden attack. To completely intercept it, the difficulty is not small. Dorag, you kid? Kong gritted his teeth and stared at Doragran. I was one step ahead by this guy, it's really troublesome. Captain CPO saw that suddenly, after a hurricane blew. In front of his eyes, a huge wind wall blocked him. Damn it. The CPO captain cursed secretly, but he didn't expect to be interrupted so quickly. Now it becomes more troublesome if you want to pursue it. But, since there was no way to pursue it, he turned his head to aim at this Dorag dragon. In the same way as before, Kong took the initiative, and the captain of the CPO was responsible for the sneak attack and looking for opportunities to severely damage Dolagran. The moment the captain of the CPO stopped, Good King Zhao, Kong had already started to act. Kong shock. Kong's signature sign, Kong's impact, oppression against Doragran. Facing this sudden Kong shock, Dragon is also particularly calm. This level of attack power? I didn't take it all into my mind at all. It can be intercepted directly. An old man, he's really crazy. At the time of the attack, Doragran still carried out a wave of taunts. Storm Dragon Fist. The dragon's left hand was constantly scrolling rapidly, and the extremely fast small tornadoes rang. When the condensate reached the limit, he shot out in one breath. The entire tornado fisted straight and exploded in an instant. Keep getting bigger. In the end, it turned into a huge range attack like a great Buddha shockwave. Two huge energy fluctuations, the surrounding Marijoy buildings are beginning to collapse in various ways. It was already so terrible before they hit together. The captain of the CPO next to him was even more staring. Didn't expect to be like this. Monument. The two forces attacked and eventually collided. But it exploded without directly, it was a short-lived stalemate. The two forces are constantly moving left and right. Both Dorag and Kong are constantly increasing their strengths. As long as the opponent can be suppressed in this situation, then a direct blow can bring harm to the opponent. In this case, the two are even more reluctant. There is no reason to let it go, and the positions of Dorag and Kong are destined to kill you. 5 elders, who had been waiting, also received the news that Dorag Long appeared. This is a rare opportunity. You must seize this opportunity to completely wipe out Dorag Dragon. Otherwise, it will definitely continue to cause trouble to the world government in the future. Chapter 175 Believe in Mr. Long. The huge wind that collides, it spreads rapidly to the surroundings, and in an instant it exceeds the range of kilometers. The blowing wind destroyed some houses, the two forces of Doragran and Kong. The intermediate isolation layer is constantly splitting. You come and I go between the two sides, and the two forces are constantly moving and swaying left and right. When the stalemate lasted for nearly a minute, the dragon used the surrounding wind to form an extremely fast wind blade behind Kong. Sweep towards Sengoku, who is exerting force, this ability. In fact, Kong didn't even think that Doragran would have the ability to form such a two-way attack. But astonishment is astonishment, and it won't make Kong confused. Instead, adjust your own state as much as possible. Come to welcome the surprise behind this wave. While one hand was outputting, the other hand swept back desperately. The wind blade and Kong's fist collided together, causing an explosion. But one thing is that when Kong was distracted to resist this wave of sneak attacks behind him, he was already in a state of slight distraction, and Doragran is to see the right time, this time for Kong's distraction. Increase the attack directly from the front, while suddenly increasing the intensity. It is the current matchup that is still in a stalemate, and it has appeared directly. Doragran's attack directly overwhelmed Kong. Kong also reacted. Oh no, unfortunately, even if Kong reacted, he was still a step late. The powerful attack overwhelmed Kong's impact punch. In the end, Kong was attacked by Doragran and swept away. Several large houses were broken by successive impacts. There is a large amount of smoke in the middle of the road. After the dragon hit Kong, his expression did not change much. Still watching all this coldly, the captain of the CPO widened his eyes. This is troublesome. If Kong falls, there is no possibility for the captain of CPO alone. Come and stop this Dorag Dragon. It seemed that he had to find a way to retreat. It's really feng shui turns around. Sudden. The CPO Captain Kong, who originally thought it, has fallen. But in the fallen house in the distance, a figure jumped up and finally landed in front of Dorag Dragon. Captain CPO was also relieved to see that Gang 370 was still standing up. Let him face this monster alone. The captain of CPO really has no confidence at all. But what made the CPO captain mutter a little bit is Kong's status has declined. The head also bleeds in several places. In this situation, the CPO captain has to consider whether Kong's status has already declined. Kong came over step by step and said, Dorag Dragon, you kid. Is it time to grasp the timing of the attack? The calculation is accurate, just seize the opportunity at that moment. I have to admire you, Dorag Long, Kong, for the matchup just now. It is also a certain affirmation of Dorag Long, able to catch a blow within a short period of time. In the matchup just now, Kong also knows the strength of Dorag. It's really completely at the ceiling. To be honest, if the battle continues, Kong is not confident that he can beat Dorag. Although there are reasons for being older, but this is not the most important point. Kong himself knew that his overall strength hadn't dropped much at all. In terms of physical fitness, there has been a decline in the prime of life. In terms of attack power, there is no drop. After becoming the commander-in-chief of the whole army, he also paid more attention to maintaining his body. Therefore, there is no trend of rapid decline in combat effectiveness because of being too old. Mr. Kong, you really deserve to be a treasured sword. But you, and the CPO over there, can't keep me. Dorag Long also gave Sengoku a word back, then he ridiculed the captain of the CPO casually. Although Captain CPO's combat effectiveness is good, he has not been taken into consideration at all. The main enemy here is Kong, and the secret 5 elders. After being ridiculed, Captain CPO gritted his teeth, but there was no way. Kong's eyes are solemn. Dorag, it's not unreasonable, Long said. In the end, I really couldn't keep him, in the face of such a huge combat power. It is very difficult to stay. In fact, there is a saying Kong has been muttering in his heart. That was the combat power of Dorag Dragon. and it gave Kong the feeling that half of his foot was about to step into that field. ACCC. It is possible to reach that realm at any time, and Kong muttered very loudly in his heart. At that level of combat power, Kong would have a headache. What's going on recently? In the legendary combat power, more and more. Stepping into that strength is completely a monster among monsters. Now exclude the older generation of characters. At present, Luo Tian can confirm that it is a monster of that level. Now this Doragran looked like he was about to step into that realm. Kong is going crazy. What do they think of Marine? There is no one at all, anyone who can impact that field. Admiral level combat power has already reached the sky. Admiral's peak combat power is already invincible in the sea. Facing the increasingly serious situation, the world government had to take measures and actions. Dora Zilong, tell me, are you about to step into the same realm as Luo Tian? In order to confirm it again, Kong. I can only ask Dorag Long cheeky. Long did not expect that Kong would suddenly raise this question. But then I thought of what was going on. This is already the case, there is no need to hide it. Straightforward. Yes, it's been a while since I touched this level. It seems that you will be scared, Kong, too, haha. The power to break through that realm will indeed leap again and start again. That's when we broke through your world government. Dorag Long also understood the meaning of strength in this realm. Ceiling combat power, in the entire world, is the lowest or more than 10 in each era. Sometimes it may reach as many as dozens, but the power of the legendary realm is rare. Throughout history, all people in this state are the leaders of the times. In the new era, Luo Tian took the lead and reached the strength of that realm. Dragon can't lag behind even more. At the same time, I understand that without that kind of power, we should not even want to overthrow the world government. World government, not bad at admiral level combat power. Holy Land Marijoy, in a castle. 5 elders, 5 people sitting together, kept discussing the issue of the Brotherhood Army's invasion of the Holy Land Marijoy. At this time, a soldier ran in to report the progress of the situation. Master 5 elders, it's not good. Doragran, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, also came to the Holy Land Marijoy. Now we are fighting against Mr. Kong, and the situation is not optimistic. Marine soldiers panicked and hurriedly reported everything to 5 elders. That Godorag dragon has come to the Holy Land Marijoy. One of the 5 elders said calmly after hearing it. What do you think? Then he said to 4 other people. Unexpectedly, Dorag dragon will come to the Holy Land Marijoy. This is going deep into the enemy camp. One of the 5 elders, his opinion is that this Dorag Genshin is so big? Dare to come to the Holy Land Marijoy? At this moment, another person said. Dare to come, Holy Land Marijoy, then don't leave. This kind of opportunity is rare. Dorag Long, all came here. If you don't leave the other party behind, then you really missed the opportunity. That's right, but there is currently no top combat power. The strength of Doragran, the average person, is simply to die. Said one of the standing 5 elders. The reason why I say this is because of the current CPO combat power of Marine and the Holy Land Marijoy. It's already insufficient. If you want to deal with this top-level combat power, you must also use the top-level combat power. I think we have to start activities too. In this special period, we are still sitting in the rear, which is not appropriate. One of the 5 elders who hadn't spoken all the time, with a mustache, opened his eyes and spoke slowly. It is true that we have to act in this special period. The other party, anyhow, is also the leader of a party's forces. 5 elders, the bald head holding one of the 12 knives of the supreme sharp knife, said so with certainty. 5 elders, all of them were basically approved by a unanimous vote. Marine's top combat power is already insufficient. Even the commander-in-chief of the entire army, Kong, was dispatched. It is conceivable that the combat power has been insufficient. To what extent? There is no other way. The Whitebeard pirate group has diverted most of the Marines' forces. At the same time, the degree of harm to the army is the greatest threat to the world government. The other big pirate forces, no matter how they toss, are in New World from beginning to end. As long as world government and Marine control well. Basically it can stabilize the situation, but the brother Mingjun is completely different, directly targeting the world government. How can the world government tolerate this situation? So now Doragran runs to the Holy Land Marijoy, then don't blame 5 elders, they have to be dispatched in person. The 5 people stood up at the same time, and went to the door together. At the same time, the cadres of the Gemming Army, Kazaru, some Marine soldiers, and CPO were also fighting desperately. Sabo also came here all the way. On both sides fighting desperately, the attention is very concentrated. For people who suddenly appeared, I also noticed very sensitively. Brother Mingjun, when he saw that the person was Sabo, he was also relieved. I was worried just now that it might be the support of the world government. But now I am relieved. But seeing Sabo again, is the injury so severe? Sabo saw everyone's worry. Don't worry, everyone, I'm fine, and Mr. Long is here too. He asked me to tell everyone that we are going to retreat. The matter of taking Marijoy will stay for the next time. Sabo reassures everyone, also conveyed the dragon's order. Although the commanders of the army, upon hearing this order, they felt a little illusion. But he also accepted the order very calmly. The people headed by Kazaru, the people who saw it, were all from the Gemming Army. Still number 2. At this tense moment, a strong combat force was suddenly added. The impact on the battle situation is also particularly huge. Kizaru Admiral, what do you do now? Behind Kizaru, a CPO asked. It's terrible. Let's watch the changes first. Kizaru also can't think of any good way. I can only look at it first. Suddenly, all the members of Brother ordered the army to immediately begin to retreat. People from the world government, seeing this scene, did not react for a moment. What's going on? The retreat of the Gemming army was completely without warning. Kizaru, who reacted, shouted, chasing me, don't let my brother order the army and run away. Other people in the world government also desperately tried to chase the fleeing brother Mingjun. The brother Mingjun, who was still desperate to live just now. The people of world government didn't think of it. Saying to retreat is to retreat. There is no extra thought at all. It's terrible, execution power. In this way, the brothers ordered the army and the people of the world government unfolded. Map chase, one run and one chase, so it was staged. Kizaru is not good at making soy sauce. On the way to escape, Ivankov asked Sabo next to him. Sabo, we just took the lead in retreating like this. Then leaving Mr. Long alone, he can handle this situation? After all, here in the Holy Land Marijoy, but the master is like a cloud. So Ivankov couldn't avoid it and asked worriedly. Sabo met Mr. Long just now, so we should understand the importance of things. Ivan, don't worry. How can I say, Mr. Long, they are all our leaders. As for the people of the world government, how could it be possible to keep Mr. Long? Let's escape Marijoy first, then just wait for the return of Mr. Long. Sabo is full of confidence in the leader dragon. I think Mr. Long will be able to cope with this situation easily. Sabo's words are also for everyone, as a reassurance. After that, everyone in the Gemming army began to flee desperately. In this battle, they dared to invade the Holy Land Marijoy. 5 elders did not intend to let these people leave safely. Because this is related to the face of the world government. Anyone must die.